We're in Norman, Oklahoma, as the Sooners play host to the Texas A&M Aggies. Brought to you tonight in brilliant Philips HD. Tonight, with the excitement level of the college football season approaching astronomical proportions, the Oklahoma Sooners play host to Texas A&M and one of the most dangerous offensive weapons in the Big 12 Conference.
I've earned the right to be here, and now celebrate that honor.
Aggie quarterback Rout Johnson is tearing through the conference with 21 touchdown passes. He leads the Big 12 in total yards, averaging over 320 a game. A&M junior Von Miller, a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks, leading the nation in sacks. The Oklahoma Sooners have two rising stars of their own in quarterback Landry Jones and his favorite connection, Ryan Broyles, who leads the Big 12 with 10 touchdown catches. Texas A&M in Norman, Oklahoma for a Big 12 battle. The winner moves on to a postseason bowl invitation. There's a lot at stake as Big 12 college football action starts now.
OU! OU!
Two different styles of quarterback tonight. Rout Johnson, he can make the big plays getting out on the edge, while Landry Jones, your classic pocket passer. Welcome to Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium in Norman for Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Is tonight the Aggies at Texas A&M on the road matching up with the Sooners. Hi, everybody. Joel Myers alongside Gary Reasons, and welcome to Norman for a matchup of two teams that have similar journeys this year, roller coaster rides. Defensively, the Aggies need help. They've been up and down all year long. Oklahoma, too many close calls and way too many injuries.
Yeah, a lot of problems for the Sooners. We'll talk about the Aggies first of all. They feel like they could easily be 7-2 with a couple of close losses in conference. Oklahoma State by 5, and last week to Colorado by 5. So within a couple of plays of that, then you take a look at the Sooners. That team really has had a terrific season. If you just look for 4 or 5 plays for Bob Stoops to go his way, a lot of close calls. It starts with BYU and Sam Bradford going out in the opener. That really cost them big time. Then you take the next week, you go to Miami, you bring in Landry Jones, let him run the show. That is a 1-point loss again. Then you have the Red River rivalry. You take Texas, only a 3-point loss there. And then obviously the heartbreaker to Nebraska last week. A great defensive effort. They were dominant in that football game. And 5 interceptions by Landry Jones.
Well, Texas A&M comes into the matchup number 1 of the Big 12 in total offense. They've got Rout Johnson, a quarterback. He can hit the home run ball at any time, and especially to the guy in the backfield. Kick returns, punt returns, out of the tailback position, Cyrus Gray.
It's great to have a playmaker back there. Cyrus Gray's done a great job. He's had 8 starts this season for the Aggies. Done a great job, over 600 yards rushing. He's an explosive player out of the backfield. He can make the play. He'll catch the ball out of the backfield too. And he's also a great kick returner. Last week against Colorado, had a 99-yard touchdown on a kickoff return. So he's an explosive player, and that's what you want in your offense, is someone who can take that ball and make one play, and it can change the course of the ball game.
There is going to be a premium on protecting the quarterback tonight. Gerald McCoy of the Sooners, one of the best defensive ends in the country, along with Von Miller of Texas A&M. He's on top of the nation in sacks with 15.5. When we come back, Darren Horton in our College Football Saturday studio. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. Brought to you in part by Hampton Hotels at Hampton. We love having you here. By Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of day. And by Philips HD, the images that move you the most, but we deliver the best. Welcome back to chilly Norman, Oklahoma, as the Aggies in their last road game of the regular season, coming into Memorial Stadium. And the Sooners making their first appearance as we head downstairs now and join Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, Joe, we're expecting a good one tonight. As you can see, the Aggie offensive line, they're ready to get out on the field and block for Rout Johnson. Oklahoma comes in. Hard to believe with 4 losses. Despite that, talking to Mike Sherman, the Aggies head coach, he still thinks Oklahoma is one of the top teams in the nation.
They're 12 points away from being undefeated, and very easily, we had 2 games that could have gone either way. They've had 4 games that could have gone either way, and they've had to deal with a lot of adversity, as have we, but they're a heck of a football team. Make no mistake about it, and they've been that way year in and year out. So their record is not indicative of what they're capable of.
And every coach, just like Mike Sherman, knows coming in here, it is so difficult to win at Memorial Stadium, where the Aggies have won a record-setting, at least school record-setting, 28 consecutive home games.
Yeah, the Sooners have done very well here, especially with Bob Stoops in this stadium. Tremendous, and 28 times in a row, that's pretty stout.
Matthew Moreland, the junior from Tulsa, gets into it. We're underway. Big 12 play, and it's going to be Cyrus Gray from the 3. Gray maneuvering his way across the 20, and that is it. The sophomore from DeSoto, former option quarterback in high school at DeSoto, Texas, and one of the leading big playmakers. So Gerard Johnson leads the Big 12 in total offense, just like his team.
Yeah, he's done a great job at his school, and you see his numbers that he's done, the career records that he's had already at Texas A&M, and he's a big quarterback. He's 6'4", 250 pounds. He's a guy that's got good mobility, Joel. He's got a very accurate throwing arm. He's completing almost 60% of his passes.
Christian Michael is the single in the backfield. Bam, big hole over to the left side as they seal that left side for the freshman. We had a first-year freshman out of Beaumont, Texas for first down. He's brought down by the free safety. Boy, do they ever wash down the left side of the offensive line. And offensively, we just saw the quarterback and the running back, Christian Michael, and some changes as well on the offensive line. But the man in the middle, a former walk-on, has really excelled this year. Dad's Hall of Famer Bruce Matthews. That's Kevin Matthews. Michael and Gray will alternate, and they both average about 67, 68 yards a game. Johnson, dump off. Christian Michael trying to make a miss. And nice open field tackle, Travis Lewis. So no gain on the reception, and this is truly one of the best defensive units you're going to see in the country. Now Frank Alexander is going to get the start. Austin English out with the injury. Travis Lewis led him in tackles last year, leads them in stops once again this year, and try to find a better pair of corners than Brian Jackson and Dominique Franks. And Franks, one of the great return men in the nation as well. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 34. Johnson down the seam and behind, but good coverage. So he is looking for his wide on that side of the field. He was trying to get it to Ryan Tannehill.
And you're going to have a lot of attempts here at explosive plays, I think, for Texas A&M. They know that they're going to have to get the ball down the field and try to throw the ball on this Sooner defense, and trying to get the ball to the former quarterback Tannehill, who's moved out to the wide receiver spot this year. He's also a backup quarterback behind Gerard Johnson, but a quarterback at receiver can be a benefit in the passing game.
McKinnon Clayton, the linebacker, getting down there on the double coverage. So it's 3rd and 10. One of the best in the nation at keeping drives alive. That wasn't the case, though, in the second half last week. They couldn't get a 3rd down if their life depended on it. Now, Gerard Johnson trying to make it happen on his own. In scramble mode, and he's got a wide open receiver for a first down across the 50-yard line. Taking it in is Howard Morrow, the senior from Keller, Texas.
Well, Gerard Johnson does a nice job of moving in the pocket, and he bought time for himself, Joel. The Sooners only rushed 5 on this play, and it's a good job of getting out of the pocket. As you take a look at here, you see the receivers and the routes, and they're going to continue to work for their quarterback, and that's what you have to do. You see right here, he's going to throw up that arm, give him a shot to throw that football out there. Good job by Johnson extending the play and getting a first down for the Aggies.
So it's good for 19. Michael to the backfield. Just trying to spin, loses the football. There goes the other way. Picked up by Brian Jackson. Nobody will catch him. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
Well, turnovers and defensive scores are turning points in a ball game, and here early on at the outset, Texas A&M seemingly moving the football against Oklahoma early on. But what happens? The ball goes on the ground, cause fumble. The ball pops right up into Brian Jackson's hand. You see the fumble there. Christian Michael drops the football as he's spinning around. Jackson picks it up, and nobody's going to catch him. Excellent job of finding the football.
In for the point after. It's good. And Frank Alexander, the one who created the fumble, who's getting the start for the injured Austin English. Jackson, the 52-yard run with the recovery. And lightning strikes early for the Sooners. The Sooners have taken 6 consecutive games from the Aggies of A&M, 9 of the previous 10. And what a beginning, thanks to the 3rd touchdown score this season by the defensive unit.
Yeah, Brian Jackson, the beneficiary of that fumble. Watch it here as you see it. Alexander causes a fumble. Watch the right hand, though, of Travis Lewis. Catches a face mask and the helmet. That is not called, but the ball is out. Nonetheless, it's going to be a score for the Sooners, and that's just be one that did not get called for Texas A&M.
Matthew Moreland will kick it away once again. Cyrus Gray and Bradley Stevens-Wade. It's going to be Gray. And downwind, it's about 5-6 yards into the end zone. So the wind out of the north at the back of the kicker, Moreland there. And the wind has really picked up over the last hour and a half.
Now there's a light breeze outside, Joel, and there's a little front moving in here to come through Oklahoma later tonight. So might have an effect on the kicking game as this game moves along.
So A&M started the first drive of the 21 before they coughed it up near the midfield stripe. Now they get it at their own 20. This is a speed tempo offense for Gerard Johnson. In fact, they come into the game second in the nation in snaps per contest. Only the Houston Cougars get more per contest. Gerard Johnson shovel pitch. It's going to be Cyrus Gray. Nifty move. Cyrus Gray. He's going to get the first down across the 30. Gives you an idea of his escapability.
This is good execution by the Aggies. Good job by the offensive line of baiting the defensive lineman to go around. Watch the pocket as opens here, and Gray pops right in there. Bingo, you get it right in the middle, and then he just looks for space. And his speed to the outside gets to the outside of this fast Oklahoma defense.
Well, Nolan Cromwell, former safety for the Los Angeles Rams for so many years, is the offensive coordinator for the Aggies. I think kicking of it when you asked him, how did you go to the dark side?
I did. I had to ask him, why are you doing over there on the offensive side? A former
still scrambling. It's a gain of about 7 or 8 this time for Gray, and give him 7 up to the 38-yard line. Gerard Johnson has just set a new single season Aggie record on that shovel toss to Cyrus Gray. That's like a pass. It's completion. And he's up to 213 and counting. But a lot of football left this year. First down, Cyrus Gray.
Well, good job by the Aggies offensive line holding up here, doing a good job in the run game, staying on those blocks, allowing Cyrus Gray to benefit.
So the Aggies, the keys coming in for them.
Well, Texas A&M, I think they got to make some chunk plays here. What I mean by that, some big plays, strike down the field. They tried to do that in defensively. They've got to control Oklahoma's run game if they're going to be successful tonight.
And when I say key, long runs, long drives, because their defense has been killing them. Dropped over the middle, little underneath route for Jamie McCoy, the tight end, the senior from Midland Lee. And it's going to bring up a second and long. But that's the difference. You have extremes. Here's the #1 offense in the Big 12. Their defense dead last.
Yeah, defensively, Texas A&M has had some struggles. There's no doubt about that. They've been hot and cold, so you've got to find a way to change that around. But Oklahoma, this is one of the premier defenses. That ball game last week against Nebraska, I sat at home on my couch, an old defensive guy. I just loved a defensive battle like that. That was fun to watch.
Johnson going deep. Man, just out of the reach. She's looking for Brandel Jackson, another first-year true freshman of Navasota, Texas.
Well, Gerard Johnson just throwing the football. He's upset with himself because he thought he could get that ball there. I think he might have wanted his receiver to kind of sharpen that route, come across the field more direct. He threw the ball out in front of him to lead him, and it didn't catch up with the receiver. Brandel Jackson, just a freshman out of high school, so not very experienced at the wide receiver position. Just got to get that chemistry working.
And numbers overall very strong this year in the passing department for Gerard Johnson. And once again, shows the way he can get out of the edge. He won't get the first down. He'll be short by about 4 or 5 yards, but still instead of a loss. What an athlete. He's hit 60% of his passes this year. 21 touchdowns, only 4 picks, but also all the single season marks that are attainable. He's already got now the completion record. Attempts, well, he'll pass that tonight. There's no question. And he's already tied his own record with the 21 touchdowns I was just talking about. But
yeah, and the completion percentage too. That's the all-time record of Texas A&M ahead of Stephen McGee. So he's done a great job running the show.
Dominique Franks averaging 17 a return, waiting for the punt and calls for the fair catch. So Oklahoma gets it for the first time offensively. They've already got a lead at 7-0. Now they've got it at their own 16. Cool, crisp night in Norman, Oklahoma. A little more than 3 minutes gone by with the Sooners on top, 7-0. And their offense hitting the field for the first time with quarterback Landry Jones coming off a forgettable one. But when you consider it is his first year, basically, a redshirt freshman. Well, he threw 5 picks last week, and that's the first time he's been shut out when it comes to throwing touchdown passes.
Well, no touchdown passes last week, but 6 against Tulsa. Kind of been up and down as a quarterback, but you definitely see in this young man the ability to throw the football and throw it accurately. Just still growing as a quarterback. Remember, folks, he's just a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, they're going to cap Chris Brown in there as like a wing over to the left side with DeMarco Murray. Don't see this formation all that often. DeJuan Miller, the motion man, big wide receiver. And from the 16 on a play fake, looking in Murray's direction and firing behind the intended target, Broyles. It goes incomplete. So Landry Jones playing behind a group, well, a group that's been banged up all year long. They just lost Brody Eldridge. They've also lost Travis Jones with a heel injury for the year. Chris Brown in the backfield. He'll share time with DeMarco Murray. They've got big wide receivers, though. We talked about DeJuan Miller at 6'4", Broyles at 6 even. And over to the left side, not much available. Maybe a yard for DeMarco Murray. And defensively for the Aggies, a team that, well, has to pick it up. Von Miller has been the bright spot off the edge. They call him the Jack. He's the defensive end, kind of a hybrid like a linebacker. And the D-back, so Dustin Harris, good experience for him. First-year freshman out of Livingston, Texas. And he's been a starter since the beginning for Joe Kynes and the defensive staff. So now 3rd down and long for the Sooners. Good protection for Landry Jones. Ton of time, and he's got DeJuan Miller for the 1st down. That's good pocket protection for Landry Jones. And our fearless predictions presented by Phillips HD.
You take a look at Chris Brown as a running back for Oklahoma. He'll give him the tough yards inside. They'll change it up with DeMarco Murray, but pretty good production by Chris Brown with him and the Sooners over his career.
And on cue, Chris Brown scrambles his way across the 30 up to the 31. Pickup of close to 4. And for more fearless predictions on every college football game, log on to foxsports.com. The keyword is fearless. And keys now for the Sooners coming in.
Well, offensively, rock and roll. Throw the ball, run the ball. Just be consistent with what you do and eliminate the big plays defensively. Not allowing Texas A&M offensively to get going and make those big chunk plays I talked about. So I think overall, Oklahoma offense, they want to be consistent. Now, this is the 6th different offensive line group that Oklahoma has started with this season. That is unique. Now, they have not had a lot of consistency. Continuity is not with this offensive line right now. They're still growing together, and this is a different group once again.
It's a 3rd and short, 3rd and close to 4 on the out, too tall for DeJuan Miller, and he's 6'4", so you know it was overthrown. Landry Jones taking a pop at the end of the play at the same time from Von Miller. Just a tap, let him know he's there.
Well, this is going to be a little bit of pressure off the left side here for Landry Jones. You see Von Miller, who's got 15.5 sacks coming in on the season, forces this throw here late. Miller, and then you're going to get the contact there. So going to be like that all night for this young offensive line. It's a group that's growing still. They don't have a lot of playing experience, but still trying to make something happen with it.
Way gets into it. Dustin Harris. And a good one downwind, puts it to the ground now, runs into his own man. So not a lot going right, although the Aggies did do a good job defensively on the first series offensively for the Sooners. Harris hangs on. They'll have it at the 11. We come back to Norman, Oklahoma, and the Sooners lead by 7. Early lead for the Sooners on a 52-yard return off a fumble by quarterback Brian Jackson. Well, just before the game and in honor of Veterans Day, there was a moment of silence in tribute to former Sooner athlete, First Lieutenant David Wright II, who died September 14th while serving our country in Afghanistan. The 2004 All-Big 12 honoree in the 110-meter hurdles, graduated from OU in 2006. Wright Bravo Company, 2-1 Infantry Regiment, part of the 5th Stryker Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division, based out of Fort Lewis. Their unit's nickname or call sign is Blackwatch. Well, you saw before the game, his family receiving a game ball. Bob Stoops, David T. Wright II Memorial Scholarship has been established on campus. And for more info, you can contact the Sooner Club. So good cause and a good idea for a former Sooner athlete representing our country and making the supreme sacrifice. 9:53 left in the opening 15 minutes of play. Joel Myers, Gary Reasons, Jim Knox here in Norman, Oklahoma. And back at the 11, Cyrus Gray in the backfield with Gerard Johnson. It'll be Gray. He wiggles his way out across the 15. Boy, he's got some moves, doesn't he? Out to about the 16 for a gain of 11. Pushed back by Travis Lewis. And our fearless predictions now presented by Phillips HD. especially for the Aggies and Christian Michael.
Yeah, just a freshman out of high school. He's been pretty productive for this football team, and he gives Cyrus Gray that's a little bit of spell in there. Very productive, over 500 yards rushing as a true freshman.
For more Fearless predictions, every college football game, log on to foxsports.com. The keyword is Fearless. Johnson, dump off, screenplay. Cyrus Gray, and collared and put down. Quentin Carter, the free safety. It looked like he had momentum to get to the marker. All of a sudden, stopped dead in his tracks at the 19. Shy of the 20.
Yeah, it's an excellent job of play calling here. It's going to be a corner blitz, and they throw it right over the blitzing corner. Cyrus Gray catching the ball out of the backfield. I talked about him running the ball out of the backfield. He's an excellent receiver also, so he's a guy that's using both facets of their offense, running the ball and throwing it when they need to get yardage with their tailbacks.
Field position-wise, key third down. Gray won't get out of the backfield. Nice play underneath by Jeremy Beal, the defensive end, a junior out of Carrollton, Texas, on that side with 8:40 and counting left. And a punting situation.
And Jeremy has done a great job being consistent at the line of scrimmage. Watch number 44 has come down the line of scrimmage and not look for the hesitation. Takes care of his business, the backside, doesn't run front side and not allow that cutback. So Sooners going to hold him here. 3 downs and punt. So excellent job for Brent Venables and his defense here.
We are not going to see Dominic Franks, believe it or not, back. One of the best punt returners as Epperson gets into it. Man, a high spiral. Royals put it on the ground, loses the football, and boy, are they lucky. Oklahoma covers it. It wasn't Royals. Instead, down there for the Sooners, it was Jonathan Nelson, reserve defensive back.
Well, this could have easily been called kick-catch interference here. You've got 2 Aggie players going to be right next to Ryan Broyles. Watch him stand right next to him. They've got to give him a little bit of room there.
Well, there's contact on the way by, Gary.
Yeah, 1 yard. There may have been contact there, brushing an arm or something, but Ryan Broyles certainly does not secure that. But luckily, OU kick coverage guy you picked up on the ball for him. Otherwise, it could be a huge turnover for Texas A&M. Sure, that's what Coach Stoops is trying to find out. How can you not call kick-catch interference there?
So now it's going to be a first down and a short field for the Sooners. And a false start coming up right away. Wildcat formation won't be underway, will it? With DeMarco Murray lining up a quarterback.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that Kevin Wilson told me this week is this offense has not been very, very smart at times, and that means penalties too. And this is what happens here. You kind of shoot yourself in the foot. Offensive lineman jumping a little bit prematurely. The snap count's not right, and just something wrong in the whole cadence and what's going on. Young offensive line, you got Matt Allen jumping there.
A couple, Brandon Allen. He could have thrown a flag on a couple of the Sooners, but you talked about the lack of continuity. Now, double move action. That looked that way as Landry Jones throws it away out of the pocket, gets it back to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 2nd and long. 2nd and 15 coming up for Oklahoma. As we remind you, the first down marker is brought to you by Overstock.com. Your entire order ships for just $2.95 at Overstock.com. Overstock.com, at home with the O. Both these teams, tempo teams. Talked about 82 snaps a game, 81 actually for A&M, 76 for Oklahoma. And that's the 5th most in the country. Seams there, and it's not close to DeMarco Murray.
You know, I talked a little bit about Kevin Wilson and what he told us this week. I asked him about what are the core things about your offense, and he said there's really 3 things. We want to play physical, we want to play hard, and we want to play smart. And he didn't feel like they were accomplishing that third component this season, and it really has shown all season with this offense kind of been hot and cold.
3 on the wide side of the field for Landry Jones. To avoid personnel substitutions for the Aggies, calling the play at the line. So they cut the wide side, middle of the field, underneath. Completion is very short.
Yeah, but excellent coverage in the secondary by Texas A&M. 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 to go there. So they just keep everyone in front of them. Nice, sure tackle there. So Texas A&M does their job on defense once again.
Michael Hodges, the linebacker, middle backer, right on the back of DeMarco Murray. Didn't have a prayer to get 15 yards. Going back deep for the Aggies on the return. It is going to be Terrence Frederick, sophomore from Katy. Tressway gets into it, and a wobbler, returnable type, will be taken on the run. Frederick, can he beat the first man? Yes, but there's a number of Sooners there. Good coverage downfield. And deep field position. Again, a long field coming up for the Aggies. Well, the Dr. Pepper Big 12 football championship game coming up Saturday night, December 5th at the new Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Tickets are on sale now. You can buy them right now. Ticketmaster.com. Head on to the web, or you can call 800-745-3000. Good look at the Big 12 South standings.
Now we know one of the teams going to be in that ball game. Texas has already clinched that spot. So now you take a look at the North and who's going to make it. Well, it's still up in the air. We don't know who's going to make it from the North. Still got plenty of football left to play. Be interesting to see how this season unfolds and who will compete in that Big 12 championship game.
And a huge win for Nebraska on the road at Kansas today, while Kansas State got hammered by Missouri. Michael in the backfield, nothing doing. Another big-time play, this time by Gerald McCoy. For an Academy Sports and Outdoors game break, let's head to Darren Horton. Darren?
Well, Joel, you guys were talking about the North in Lawrence. The Cornhuskers now control the Big 12 North. Roy Halou, a big day, 156, 3 touchdowns, 31-17 the final.
So they dictate the tempo. And it all started last week with a stunning 7-point win over Oklahoma at home. Gerard Johnson, quick bullet, out past the 20 to Howard Morrow. So they got the lost yardage back, lost about 4 or 5 with the first down run, and tag on 5.
Yeah, you talked about that ball game against Nebraska, and I really think this defense really needs to stand up, get a game ball for something. Heck, they forced 11 punts in that football game. Tell you, they just allowed 7 first downs and 180 yards of offense to the Cornhuskers. Brent Venables got to be very pleased with his defense and how well they played. Ask Bob Stoops about that type of performance. He's got to shake his head. Never seen one of those before.
Gerard Johnson in trouble on 3rd and 5. Buying some time and throws the deep ball up for grabs and on the ground. Should have been intercepted, but dropped by Frank Alexander dropping back. It was the lineman, the sophomore from Baton Rouge. That'll fool you to see a big guy that size downfield.
Well, I think that Gerard Johnson thinks he's got a cannon for an arm, so he's way over here on the sideline, and he's looking to throw the ball past midfield. That's going to be about a 65-yard throw, and he just kind of flutters it, so it does not get there. Ball almost intercepted by Jackson, so Gerard Johnson trying to make a huge play on the run.
Royals will stay away from it as it takes a left turn. When's the last time you saw a defensive end at 6'5", 260 in a safety position about 50 yards downfield?
That's kind of unique. I'll give you that.
Unique, that's a good description for it. Well, you talked about the lack of continuity, no rhythm with the offensive line. Just can't find a regular combination with all the injuries, something we discussed with the Sooners head coach, Bob Stoops.
The continuity's been free-flowing all year for 2 reasons. Mostly because of the injury situation, that it's nobody's fault. And then the other reason that early on in the season we just felt some of the production and the overall play of some players at different times wasn't what it needed to be, and you know, so we needed to give some other guys opportunities, or guys need to understand that to stay on the field or to be a starter, you need to play at a certain level.
And they've had some changes there, there's no doubt about it. Brody Elder's gone for the season. You got Tavares Jefferson, shoulder sprain, maybe not going to play a whole lot. Jarvis Jones is out. Brian Simmons missed the last 3 or 4 games. So there's so many problems with the Oklahoma offensive line, and Bob Stoops is just trying to find a combination that works. But more importantly, you talk about continuity and trying to get there. Just almost been impossible because of the injury bug that's been here in Norman, Oklahoma.
Royals caught that one. Chenell caught the previous one for 33 yards, trying to provide the block on that last play for Royals. A little slip screen. Chris Brown in the backfield. So they're trying quick rhythm, and also, before that, of course, the deception in the backfield with the play fakes. And now more gadget plays. Landry Jones throws on the reverse, beats the man at the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
Well, I think it's pretty safe to say that the #1 explosive player for Oklahoma this season has been Ryan Broyles. Catching the football, 10 touchdowns, and now you see what he's able to do. Just get the ball in his hands. You're in the kick return game. How about a little gadget play here? Quarterback helps. Landry Jones gets 2 blocks there. That's a pretty good job by the quarterback, and he just finishes it off. Nice job here. A little misdirection here. Getting the defense to run one way and run backside.
Jimmy Stevens in for the point after. And a 14-0 lead for Oklahoma. Not 10 minutes gone in the opening 15 minutes of play, so disastrous beginning. Schooner is out, Boomer Schooner. And all of a sudden, big-time catch-up affair for Texas A&M.
You know, we talked to Kevin Wilson, a little bit more about what he told us is, they got some things that they want to hang their hat on, what kind of team they are offensively. And one of the things is being up-tempo, Joel, and that's what they did there. They quick pass, quick execution, be physical, run the football. They like to get that kind of play, and they need to rely on their big people. They haven't been able to rely on their big people this season because of the injuries. They need to find a way to get back to that. Remember last season, they graduated four offensive linemen. 3 of those guys are playing on Sundays. You lost your Heisman Trophy quarterback. You got your first-round tight end not with this team. So a lot of changes offensively, continuity. It just takes time to build, and with injuries, you can't muster it up. There's just no way to recreate it.
Yeah, you talked about Kevin Wilson said tempo, quick, 37 seconds, 3 plays. I guess that's quick enough. There's Brody Eldridge, who was knocked out for the season in the injury with last week's matchup with Nebraska.
Tell you what a football player too, and the unselfishness that he showed in his career here. Tight end, moved to center to start the season, played some guard, and 3 different positions he started on the offensive line this year.
Stevens and Gray. It'll be Cyrus Gray from the 6. Does he have a lane? Yes, he does. Breaks a tackle to the 30, 35, trying to make a miss, and does all the way to the 40. A guy that returned a touchdown last week, 99 yards for a score. Looking back on what we've seen so far, the fumble by Michael. Brian Jackson scoops it up. Good bounce for him. He goes 52 yards. So they hadn't had the offense on the field yet. Oklahoma yet on top, 3 minutes in, 7-0. And the gadget. 3 snaps, 37 seconds, and a 25-yard touchdown run. So Ryan Broyles, you talked about the playmaker, he's got 18 career scores, and that's the first time he's had one on the ground.
Nothing wrong to add that to the resume. It's pretty good stuff. I think they might want to see more of that. Get that ball in his hand in any way they can. They had it in the screen game. We haven't seen that so far today, but they kind of rely on getting the ball to him in the screen game. He plays the slot receiver, so I'm sure we'll see more Ryan Broyles tonight.
Now let's see if A&M can capitalize on their best field position to start a drive by far. They're going for the bundle, jump ball, and there's going to be a penalty flag. They put it out there for Jeff Fuller. He was battling down the sideline with Dominique Franks.
Now Dominique Franks is doing a good job of coverage there, but there's a little contact there going down the sidelines. I'm not sure if this is going to be on the defense or the offense. It may be on Fuller trying to push him away. I thought that was pretty good coverage by Franks.
Big 12 referee tonight, Rick Lumiere. So inside of 5 to play. What's it going to be?
There is no foul on the play. The play was originally for offensive pass interference. However, there was no restriction. 2nd down.
And the ball wasn't really that catchable, was it? I mean, you see it go out of bounds.
Well, this is a big throw here by Gerard Johnson, throwing it up there, trying to make the receiver go up and get the football, and really wasn't a whole lot of contact. I think this is a good non-call for both of them. Just a little jostling for position.
Okay, it touched the hands of Franks inbounds. If anything, it looked like a hold by the wide receiver early, didn't it?
It might have been, but not enough to call.
So now it's going to be 2nd and long. And nothing doing for Kristen Michael once again for an Academy Sports and Outdoors game break. Let's back to Southern California and Darren Horton. Darren.
All right, Joel, in Baton Rouge, number 8 LSU taking care of some in-state business against Louisiana Tech. Jarrett Lee finding Brandon LaFell. Look at him weave 38 yards to the house for the touchdown. 10-3, number 8 with the lead early on. Joel?
All right, very early on a Saturday night in Baton Rouge, and that is truly one of the great venues. If you haven't seen the Saturday night at LSU, making a point.
That's a party.
Football. It is a big time. Gerard Johnson should be able to give the marker. No. Good angle. And was it a late hit? Yep. Out of bounds. Beal got him. Beal closed really well. Another big guy that can run. Clayton was over there too. But it looked like Gerard Johnson had a chance to get to the marker. Man, did they make up ground.
Yeah, Gerard Johnson, he's actually bigger than Jeremy Beal. Going to the sideline, watch his speed. He step out of bounds here, and Keenan Clayton stepping out of bounds, giving himself up defenseless, and wasn't a whole lot of contact there by Beal, and Keenan Clayton come in there as well.
Tried to avoid it at the tail end, but it was too late. So a real break. It would have been 4th and a couple of yards. A&M still has the drive alive as they convert on a penalty. Call on Beal, the junior from Carrollton, who was a 2nd-team All-Big 12 performer last year. It takes it all the way down to the Sooners' 37. Toss short side, Michael. Not a lot of blocking. Low way for about 3 inside the 35 to the 34. Beals over there again.
You know, these two running backs that they've got out there, Cyrus Gray and now Christian Michael, both of them, Joel, I think are very explosive running backs, and they give the big play capability to this offense for the Texas A&M Aggies, and either one of them in the ball game is a nice weapon to have out there. Both of them are quick, both of them have great speed, and they got good vision, and they're able to elude tacklers.
Cyrus Gray, who's in there now only a sophomore. Gerard Johnson showed action like he wanted to run the football and then throws it low, trying to get it to his tight end, Jamie McCoy. There's a flag down. No, there isn't. They pick it up. No flag on the play.
Jamie McCoy was open. This is Gerard Johnson. Just a bad throw. He throws it into the turf and just needs to set his feet back there in the pocket. Offensive line did a pretty decent job of picking up the Sooners' rush there. They only rushed 4, so right now Texas A&M up front, giving their quarterback enough time to throw the football.
Well, has early heat on Gerard Johnson, giving him happy feet like that last play. 3rd and long. Johnson over the middle of Bullock. Tannehill, first down inside the 25 to the 24.
And that's what you want from a running back. A running back's going to be able to come over and pick up the blitzer from the weak side right in front of Johnson. You see the block right there, bingo, and good job by Tannehill coming across, and a nice strike by Gerard Johnson. Big, tall quarterback in the pocket, Joel, able to make that throw.
Tannehill, just a sophomore. Mike Sherman and his staff using a lot of first and second-year players. Get back to that thought in just a moment. Out of the gun, slip screen action, and in and out of the hands and dropped by Jeff Fuller. It's not a fumble. It was whistled dead immediately. And I was talking about first-year players, and I'm talking about guys that just were going to the senior prom this past spring. 18 first-year true freshmen have played for Mike Sherman and the Aggies this year.
Yeah, just a little slip screens. You're going to try to get the ball out there, and good job by the Sooners converging on the football and just knocking it away.
Javiel Fleming putting his helmet, or check that, Jonathan Nelson rather, putting his helmet right on the football. So Mike Sherman has not been timid about using guys, because a lot of times now you're looking at them for 3 years anyway.
Yeah, that's the way it is in college football. Exceptional players are opting out of that senior year, unfortunately.
It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 24. Deepest penetration, but the best point to start a drive at the 40. At their own 40. And false start.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 74, the offense. Penalties 5 yards, remains 2nd down.
Right tackle, Lee Grimes.
Joel, one of the biggest changes here for Texas A&M this year with their offense is they've done the no-huddle, up-tempo style of offense like it's in vogue. And talked to Mike Sherman about that, and he said that he felt that this is a way for them to be more competitive, get their system in. They're a pro-style offensive system. They still have a lot of multiple things that they're able to do out of it, but they want to go from the line of scrimmage much like the Sooners do also.
Want to get back to that philosophy. 2nd and 15. Ball back outside of the 29. Here comes the blitz. Johnson on the out. It's complete. Taken in by Fuller. And he got it down and inbounds. Inside the 20, down to the 17.
This is great command of the football and good job in the pocket. You see the receiver. He sets it up, looks down the field, and the receiver comes to the outside. And good job of throwing it out there over the defender. Fuller hauls it in there, so it's a nice throw and catch.
And so far on 3rd downs for a team that's as good as any in the country on 3rd downs, 51%. Just 2 of 6. Key when you're on the road. You're down 14 early. 3rd and about 3. They pick up the blitz, and they've got the... No, it was bobbled. Will they give him the catch? Fuller bobbled the football.
I don't think he had control of that football. I think they'll probably review this. Looks like he's going to be going out of bounds before he pulls that ball in. Now, the near sideline, the line judge is right here, and he sees that. So, does he control the football? I don't think he has control of the football. He's got his right foot on the white, so...
I'd snap it in a hurry.
They tried, but... You're a coach at heart, aren't you?
Live, I saw Bob with the football, so I figured...
under further review.
Bob Stoops had to be going crazy. It's on his sideline.
Well, I think this is definitely going to go for the Sooners in their favor. This ball's going to be called incomplete. Did not have control of the catch. You see the ball pulled in there, and the ball bobbles right there. And then as he regains it, his right foot is on the white stripe, as I talked about. This is a better look at it here. You see the ball come to him, and then goes away from his hands, then that right foot on the sideline. So I'd be very surprised if this call is not overturned.
If it's a size 9 and not a size 12, it's a catch.
I think it'd be iffy then.
Well, A&M got a break, don't forget, on the penalty.
Yeah, they certainly did.
Drive alive.
Yeah, around midfield, they're on big 3rd down.
Jeremy Beal, personal foul. So the quick out worked, and a tough break because Fuller has looked very strong from the very beginning.
Oklahoma, Joel, I tell you, one of the things that's really unique about them, they have not allowed points in 11 consecutive games in the first quarter. 11 consecutive games Oklahoma has not allowed a team to score. So,
well, let's face it, their defense is the reason they're 5-4 to begin with.
I tell you, when you have a defense that doesn't allow the other team to score early in the ball game, and you can do some things offensively, the Sooners have done that.
After further review, the receiver did not have possession of the ball when he went out of bounds. It was ruled an incomplete pass. We were paged by the booth. This is a booth challenge, not a coach's challenge. The ball will go back to the previous spot, 17-yard line, second down.
Bob Stoops did not have to challenge it because we heard him all the way upstairs.
Yeah, the booth is one floor up. I know exactly where it's at. These guys did a nice job. They stopped the play. They realized that was one they needed to take a quick look at, and that was overturned.
I get points on the road.
So these may be the first points that Oklahoma's defense may actually allow. We've got the field goal team out there.
So the place kicker coming in now, Randy Bullock. He's 9 of 12. He's got a career best 50-yarder this season. This should be a chip shot by those standards. This is only a 34-yard attempt to get the Aggies on the board. It's on its way, and you had to bring up the 11-game streak. You know we call that, Gary, KOD.
Oh.
Kiss of death. You're just KOD. Bullock gets Aggies a 34-yard field goal. And the Aggies, it's a break because it could be a lot closer if they don't cough up the football. Well, Sam Bradford has done a lot in a short period of time at Oklahoma and came into the season coming off a Heisman Trophy season, and everybody thought this was going to be kind of the culmination, a national championship.
Yeah, just continue the record books here at the University of Oklahoma. 15 school records to his credit. And this has been a tremendous young man. Lives from Oklahoma City. Here, this is his dream thing, that he'd be able to play at the University of Oklahoma. See the touchdown marks and the yardage that he has. Big 12 Player of the Year, the Heisman Trophy winner. It's a tough way for that young man to go out. We had a chance to visit with him here, so there's Sam on the sideline.
2:45 left in the first 15 minutes of play. And let's join now Jim Knox right before the kickoff tonight with Sam Bradford.
All right, here we are with Sam Bradford. Give us the prognosis. Everything went well right on the surgery. What did the doctors say? How long will it take?
Everything went really well. They got in there and everything was as they expected. I've started the rehab process, and there's not really a specific timeline, but hopefully I'll be ready here pretty soon.
After 2 weeks, how does it feel?
It feels good. It feels really good.
Yeah, we'll have more about that with Sam, and good news for the surgery and good news for him, his prognosis as well. He's going to continue to have a bright future.
Dominic Franks waits back along with Moses Madu in the line drive. It's going to be Madu back at about the 2. He's got a nice lane. Didn't get the block he needed, though. Good play downfield once again. The coverage team, and that time was Lionel Smith for Texas A&M.
Now let's join Jim Knox again, talking about the Heisman Trophy with him.
Former Heisman Trophy winner right here. If you do have a Heisman Trophy vote, so who would you cast your vote for right now, Sam? Come on, Sam.
I really don't know if I can say that right now. I'm not going to put it out there.
Would you think Colt McCoy's in the running?
I definitely think he's in the running.
There we go. You can text him that later. Okay, appreciate the time.
All right, no problem.
Off the fingertips, picked off, coming the other way. A&M, Michael Hodges, and bumped out of bounds. So they went for the quick one to Cameron Kinney. And Michael Hodges in the right place at the right time. Off the deflection.
Well, opportunity play, and that's what you have to do. A ball is tipped, goes up in the air defensively, find a way to make the play, and that's what you have here defensively. Here he is coming out here. He's going to find that ball. There's the tip. Bingo, get it right in your hands. Hodges brings it back, secure the football, keeps your offense back out there. This is a sudden change play for Texas A&M, and excellent job here of converting it with the defense, and they got a chance to put more points on the board. Just finished up on that 3 points he kicked with the field goal.
So one snap later with 2:29 to play. In the opening 15 minutes, A&M can get healthy in a hurry.
Yeah, what's his psyche of a quarterback? Last week, 5 interceptions in that ball game for Landry Jones, and now 1 tipped. Not a very comfortable feeling back there at the quarterback spot when they're going to the other team and not yours.
It's going to be a tight formation with Christian Michael in the backfield from the 6. Put it out there for the freshman. And backwards, he gets a couple down to the 4. Brought back by Lewis, and Frank's on that side of the field. Well, this is one of the better defensive units you're going to find in the country. So now, can they, on a supremely short field, hold them on 3 snaps?
Yeah, and this is a challenge also, I think, for Texas A&M's offensive line. Can they muster enough here physically to take this to Oklahoma defense and put the ball in the end zone? You got a true freshman playing right guard and Patrick Lewis. You got a youngster there also on the left side, and Evan Ike playing the left guard, so just a sophomore. So a lot of youth up there. They like to come in here to Norman and make a statement about their offense.
Quarterback draw, spread the defense. McCoy even off the tackle, movement up front, but they're not in set position anyway. And now, is there going to be a delay of game?
Now they're calling timeout on the Aggie sideline.
Well, they threw a flag for a delay of game. Did they get the timeout called?
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Well, they're certainly calling. Well, the right guard's just kind of reshifting there. He's going to pick up, take a look at it there, and maybe the right tackle. The center turned. The center switched. Spun around and just pulled the right guard up.
Flinch.
I just mentioned Patrick Lewis, the freshman there, and he's the one that flinches. But I saw Mike Sherman on the sideline come down and try to call a timeout. Was not handled by the officials, so 5-yard penalty against Texas A&M.
It'll be 2nd and goal at the 9. This defense only gives up 12 points a game. 7th best in the country. Demonstrative. Gerard Johnson out of the gun. Lewis gives chase, and through the fingertips of Dominique Frank, should have had the pick.
Oh, this was an easy touchdown throw for Gerard Johnson, but he does not put enough air under this football. He's got a receiver in the end zone. There's no doubt about that. And
it's McCoy on the back end in the corner.
He's open, wide open in the back of the corner, and he just throws his ball. Watch McCoy. There's no way that he can't catch his ball, but he doesn't see cornerback Dominique Frank should put enough air under it. This is a ball that I'm sure that when Gerard Johnson sees, he's going to say, oh, I got to have that one back. That's an easy touchdown.
Coaches will always tell you that's why they're D-backs and they're not wide receivers. It'll be 3rd and goal at the 9. Johnson, fade, corner of the end zone, quite a push off. Touchdown, Texas A&M if it stands. Jeff Fuller, nice stiff arm.
Now there's contact at the line of scrimmage, no doubt about it, with the defensive back and Fuller on the left side. This is a ball. It's good touch by Gerard Johnson, throwing it up there to the left side in the back of the end zone. And Brent Venables trying to look at the screen to see if he can get a replay on to see exactly what happened. But it's an excellent job by the quarterback of throwing the ball out there on timing. And the jam on the line of scrimmage does not affect the route.
Randy Bullock in for the point after. So very quickly, Texas A&M getting points off a turnover, just like Oklahoma. Brand new ball game. Deep into the first 15 minutes of play, 65 seconds left of the first quarter. It's only a 4-point deficit, so free play drive took minute 24, and they get points off the pick.
Well, Fuller's going to do a good job of getting off the jam and getting in the back. You see Jackson there, the contact. It's okay between both of them, inside of 5 yards there, and a good throw and a good catch, and secures the football, pulls it down, got that foot down. Excellent sudden change there by Texas A&M, converting that interception to points on the board.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up inside of 5, because if there's press coverage, they're both going at it.
Yeah, they definitely can have that hand contact there inside of 5 yards. Both of them, they're trying to separate.
We're just talking to Sam Bradford, who has a Heisman vote, as a Heisman winner last year. Now, conference allegiance, his buddy, don't forget, he is friends with Colt McCoy. You see the guys right now, if you were to put together a leaderboard, Ingram, Keenum, McCoy, C.J. Spiller out of Clemson, and of course, still have to respect what Tim Tebow's doing with the #1 team in the nation.
All these guys have a chance. There's no doubt about that. Case Keenum's had superlative season so far. I think he's got some huge numbers, some big win against Oklahoma State earlier this season. Colt McCoy, seen him play 2 or 3 times last week, 470 yards against Central Florida. 42 wins, the most winningest quarterback. But Tim Tebow, he's still there. That's a great list. It's still, there's some body of work left to be done this season for all these players to claim that prize.
Bullock will kick it away over the far side. Dominique Franks. Moses Madu brought back the last one. Man, another one. The soccer-style kicker, line drive from Madu. To set up the return to the right again. And still doesn't get much of a block. Past the 25, up to the 28. Well, we remind you, tomorrow, Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. It all starts with the pregame show, noon Eastern, 9 out on the West Coast. So check your local listings for the game and the start time in your area. Just a few games. Take your pick. Fox NFL Sunday at noon Eastern. There's a flag on the play.
good news is they gave my Giants the week off.
Yeah, so they could lose a 5th consecutive.
They could regroup, losing 4 straight after five wins to start the season. So good time for a bye week.
Taking some time on the flag. It's at the 42 of Oklahoma.
After the play was over, personal foul with the late hit, number 22 of the receiving team. The penalty will be half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's the strong side backer, Keenan Clayton. Senior, there's honorable mention all Big 12 last year. So it has definitely changed momentum-wise for Bob Stoops and his crew. Well, they had it all early.
Well, the defense for Texas A&M, they've done a good job of being in the passing lanes. You get the ball tipped, you get an interception, convert that to points. That's opportunistic defense here. You play on the road, you got to find a way to make those plays and put points on the board.
Jones, little bubble screen, Ryan Broyles. Not much there. Good play over on the side. And the corner on that side, Terrence Frederick going low to get to him.
Kind of a popular play in college football, that wide receiver screen would get them out there, get your receivers to block for them and try to split that gap.
It'll be 2nd and 4 after the gain of 6. Go the other way to Broyles. And same guy. Loss of a yard. Boy, Frederick, 2nd-year player, sophomore out of Katy. He did start, though, as a freshman. Yeah. 2nd on the Aggies and stopped so far this season. So that takes us through the first 15 minutes of play. First 14 points. Oklahoma. Last 10 against an Oklahoma defense that only gives up 12 a game. That is Texas A&M. This should be the final snap. Now, will they get it off in time? No. Unless they're going Wildcat on us. That'll do it. So 14-10 lead for Oklahoma. A&M has to feel pretty good after the way things started here in Norman, especially with the Sooners winning 28 consecutive on their home field. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Academy Sports Outdoors. We get ready for the start of the second quarter. Welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma. It's not Halloween. It's over, guys. 14-10 Sooners on top of the Aggies. We talked about Texas A&M and problems they've had defensively. Their defensive coordinator, Joe Kimes, he's seen a few. They gave up 31 points a game, and we asked him about his team's tackling. I loved his comment, Gary. When we talked to him earlier this week, he said, a little like my wife's cooking. Some days it's like Thanksgiving. Other days, 4-day-old leftovers.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. So that's what Joe Kimes means there. That was a great quote. That's a great way to take a look at your defense and put into a life perspective.
And I got a feeling Joe's been around a long time, so he can make comments like that and get away with it.
I'm sure he's got a great cook at home.
Yeah, okay, cover for him. 14-10. Sooners looking at a third and about 5. Good pocket protection. Landry Jones could grab this time. Hanging on, it's Kinney. He couldn't hang on the last time for an Academy Sports and Outdoors game break. Let's go to Darren Horton. Darren.
Joel, who's the best team in Texas? Earlier, we had the 3rd-ranked Longhorns on College Football Saturday. Number 4, TCU. This is Matthew Tecker. 39 yards to the house, 7-0. What do you guys think?
That's a good game. That's a couple of real quality teams. And we've seen TCU here in Norman before over the last couple of years. One of the better defensive units every year in college football.
No doubt about that. Gary Patterson certainly gets that defense juiced up.
Number 77 of the offense. Penalty will be 10 yards. Remains first down.
Yeah, they got a star defensive end, Jerry Hughes, that kind of plays pretty well for him. So take a look here at Oklahoma and how they're moving the football. Landry Jones doing a nice job of just waiting, be patient, have your receiver come across. Got the hold there on the outside.
They called it. Stephen Good. Right guard. So now all the way back to the 18. It's going to be 1st and 20. So they got the first down conversion on the crossing pattern to Kinney. He's out wide to the right of the wide side of the field. And over the middle. Taken away from Broyles. What a time and what a hit by Jordan Pugh, the free safety.
Yeah, the senior just does a great job of timing this breakup here on the throw. Landry Jones has an excellent job of throwing the ball. He sees the receiver there. Broyles tries to get it to him, and what a left hand. Good job of recovery speed by the safety, number 25, Jordan Pugh, coming in there. He's got 6 pass breakups on the year coming into this game. Number 7 there. Excellent job.
That is textbook. Dump off. Royals. Nothing there. Maybe to the 21 for about 3. It'll be 3rd and 17. Garrett Williams, outside backer there. Another sophomore for Joe Kynes.
How huge is that offensive penalty? The holding penalty knocks him back. Now it's 2nd long, 3rd long. You're behind the chains. This is much easier for the defense to make plays in these situations. Very hard for Oklahoma's offense.
Landry Jones again. Needs 17 and poked away from Kinney from behind. It was Trent Hunter, the strong safety. And he timed it pretty well because a lot of times you'll see a strong safety like that go through the receiver.
Yeah, we got both safeties in this series here. Jordan Pugh previously, now Trent Hunter, number 1. Watch that. Good play, good timing. Definitely not a penalty. So Texas A&M defensively doing a nice job after the penalty of negating Oklahoma's opportunities to move the ball and move the chains.
Tressway will punt it. And punt it into a pretty good breeze. Off the side of his foot, it doesn't help. Frederick will stay away from it.
Backspin.
Man, my wedge never worked out well. It'll be the midfield stripe for the Aggies looking for their first lead of the game when we come back. Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. Brought to you in part by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Philips HD, the images that move you the most, what we deliver the best. And the first down marker brought to you by Overstock.com. Shop with the company that supports college football. Overstock.com. At home with the O. Now, a lot of D when you're talking about the Sooners in Norman. A&M only down by 4, though. And Texas A&M coming into Norman tonight for its final road game of the season. Next week, Aggies back home for Baylor, close out the regular season. I will be watching Kyle Field, 26th night game, Thanksgiving. Texas against Texas A&M. How much fun is that game every year? Broyles in motion from the 11. Finally, they're on the football. And DeMarco Murray upended real early at the 12.
I don't sense that Kevin Wilson has a lot of confidence running the football here. Not calling a lot of running plays in this ball game. A lot of misdirection, trying to get Landry Jones to throw the football here. And offensive line not getting a push there on the Aggie defense. Good job by the Aggies of closing the run game.
Chris Brown takes over. It'll be 2nd and 9 from the 12. Brown making a miss. Open field tackle. Trent Hunter, the strong safety. Otherwise, he's easily got the first down.
Good job in the open field, as you said, Joel. When you come off the edge, you got to be a sure tackler. And he's the number 1 tackler on the team this season, so he's done a lot of that for the Aggies.
Well, 2 teams that take a lot of snaps. Right now, it's 32-20. Aggies. When it comes to keeping their offense on the field. Got a 3rd and 5, almost 6 for Oklahoma. Time for Jones. And low throw. Broyles trapped it. It'll be incomplete. Working on that side. And it was Jordan Pugh, the free safety.
Well, they brought pressure on Landry Jones, trying to get him to throw the ball a little bit off timing, and they certainly do. And this is not an accurate throw. Ball underneath Ryan Broyles. If he throws it to the outside, he may have it, but he's having to come back for that football. Not a good throw.
So another punt for Tressway. Frederick waits. Again, he is kicking into a pretty good breeze. Keeps it below the wind this time. Frederick, let it go. Let it go, and now the Aggies scramble. He just let it go, and I got a feeling Oklahoma's picking it up and going the other way. It's Keenan Clayton. Touchdown Sooners. Will it be, though?
I'm not sure he initially touched that football.
I know another Aggie went to the ground trying to get it. He deked out his own team.
He probably did. Thought that he had touched it, and one of his players tried to get on that football, but Keenan Clayton says, this is my ball.
And will it be returned for a score?
I see Frederick actually touches the ball. He got there, and he pulls his hand back. He does not catch it. If he had, the referee would have thrown a beanbag right there, and he does not throw a beanbag. So that means that there's no catch, and so there was no need for the A&M player to get on top of the football. Ball pops up to Keenan Clayton, and it's a touchdown for Oklahoma.
It looked like Colton Valencia went down to it.
Well, they're going to spot it where he muffed the football.
The touch was initially. So it's going to be at the 22. I know you heard that a lot better than me, Gary.
Well, I was reading lips. I figured it out, and ball's going to be a first down for Oklahoma. Now we'll take a quick look at this thing to see if he actually touches the football. Here's Frederick here trying to get his hands out there, and he gets his hands out. It doesn't fully extend. Now, I don't see a contact.
No.
Like I said, the official was right there. He did not throw the beanbag, so he ruled that it was not contact, that you had an Aggie coming down on the...
Faked out his own team. Or at least one member of the return team. So it was Valencia.
Valencia tries to grab it, but pops up in the air and recovered there by Kenny Clayton. So Oklahoma's going to get the ball at that spot.
Yeah, they've had some tough losses. We talk about the close ones for Oklahoma, but A&M has had some close losses. What about last week? They couldn't do anything in the second half offensively after they had a lead. They lost at Colorado 35-34. Maybe their toughest loss early this year. It was at home to Oklahoma State 36-31. Biggest win, though, that would be Texas Tech. And did they ever do a number offensively? In Lubbock, 52-30.
Yeah.
But right now, giving the ball away once again. And don't forget Oklahoma's first points off a fumble return.
Yeah, that's something you'd want to sort of recognize. And Mike Sherman, you talked about him and the win they had against Texas Tech. Flip that. What happened with them against Kansas State? So it's been an up and down season for the Aggies, especially in conference play.
Try to figure out the Missouri Tigers. Lose at home to Baylor. Baylor's first win in conference play since Reagan was in the White House. And then they go right, and then they go to K-State, Missouri, and do a number on an improved Wildcat team under Bill Snyder. It has been that kind of year in the North.
Yeah, it's a booth review here. They're looking at whether or not
Valencia touched the football.
Valencia touched the ball,
and he did.
He did. I believe he did. I don't think that's. Now they're just trying to determine where the spot of the ball should be recovered by Oklahoma.
And that's tough for your teammates on the return team if you're not going to be demonstrative about your action.
There you see Valencia there, number 26. Does he touch the ball? His left hand touches the football. It changes the direction of the football. So I think that's an easy way to see that.
But when you look at it there, that the Sooner came in and punched it free. So there may be doubt, but it looked like he touched it.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The ball will belong to Oklahoma. First down on the 22-yard line.
So contact from Texas A&M. And Oklahoma once again with a short field. They've got it at the A&M 22. Last time they got it in a similar situation close to the midfield stripe, they scored 3 snaps later on a 25-yard run on a reverse by Ryan Broyles.
And you got the Texas A&M defense here, Joel. You talked about the youth of this team. This defense, very, very young. 17 of the 22 defensive players, and they're 2 deep, are freshmen or sophomores.
False start. Umpire called that.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 72 of the offense. Penalties 5 yards. Remains first down.
Tavares Jeffries, junior from Memphis. It's patchwork offensive line.
Tavares is going to be playing that right guard spot, so he's going to pick up a little early. I don't see it there, but that's who they called.
Too fast for his own good?
Maybe it is. Another penalty in the very first play from the drive. Remember the holding penalty back in Sooner territory a couple series ago.
It'll be DeMarco Murray. He gets it inside the 25 down to the 23. It'll bring up 2nd and 11. And the first down marker brought to you by Overstock.com. Save up to 70% off brand names every day at Overstock.com. Overstock.com at home with the O. So Oklahoma, as you saw, they've hurt themselves with the penalties. The biggest mark off, though, kept the drive alive at one point. When they got their field goal to Texas A&M. Personal foul as they hit Gerard Johnson out of bounds. Landry Jones, pocket pressure, and he is down for the count. From behind, Justin McQueen. The extra defensive back in there. And a flag
on the field as well. This is a good job here in the secondary by Texas A&M, matching up on the routes as they unfold, and this allows the pressure from the defense to get to the quarterback. This is a timing throw here that Landry Jones needs to get the ball out of his hands. This may be against Texas A&M. Maybe Von Miller here may have a hand in the face mask of an offensive lineman here, and can't do that. Hands to the face illegally.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, number 40 of the defense.
Yeah.
The penalty's half the distance to the goal, first down.
Now Von Miller playing a defensive end spot, the jack linebacker spot for Texas A&M. 15.5 sacks down there. Here's Vaughn right here. He's going to come across and going to get his hand on the offense right there in front of Trent Williams. Here, gets his hand up in his face mask. You see his head going back. Just right on in there. Certainly a penalty.
Good call. So it's going to be first down at the 11. They're bringing the true fullback, Clapp. He got a head start, didn't he? He was up and out early in front of Chris Brown.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 72 of the offense.
Didn't call it on the guard, but fullback was up too.
Well, I think that Kevin Wilson's thinking in the booth up there that, hey, it's not fair. I'm calling plays at 1st and 15 or 1st and 20.
Yeah, guard was definitely up and out. He was pulling. We knew that.
Well, that's Corey Brandon. I think the right tackle actually pulling around. So
now it's going to be 1st and 15 from outside the 16. Chris Brown off tackle, and one of the better runs of the night. Takes him inside the 10 down to the 8.
Yeah, Brown's a little bit of a slasher. He's got that speed and power. He can kind of fight through those little gaps.
Coming into the game, they only averaged 139 yards on the ground, and I said to you, that stood out to me more than anything else. But last year, the Sooners had the same 5 play in 13 consecutive games, and I'm talking about the offensive line. The most they've had the same 5 together this year is 3 straight games.
Yeah, just 3 games that they've started. Now, this is, as I said earlier, this is the 6th different offensive line group that they've started in the game this year. Not a lot of continuity.
Call it 2nd and 7 outside the 8. Flair, and it's Brown. Short of the first down. Where do they put him out? Inside the 5 at about the 4. So Brown, our U.S. Marine leaders, among the all-time leaders in touchdowns. Long way to go for Steve Owens, the all-time great Sooner.
Yeah, but he's had a great career here. Chris Brown has, and how productive he has used early on in his career as a tailback here, as a short yardage back, and banging that ball into the end zone, and been very productive.
Now it's going to be 3rd down. They can still get a 1st and goal inside the 1. Landry, ton of time. Now collapses into the corner. Touchdown. Ryan Broyles.
It's a nice throw and catch by Landry Jones and Ryan Broyles. Broyles continues to work to get to the outside, and Landry Jones, Joel, on this play does a nice job of extending the play, getting out of the pocket, enabling himself to throw the football. That's a nice grab outside by Ryan.
He's all over him.
It had to be a bullet. The coverage was not bad. 2nd score of the night. 19th of his career, and 12 of the 19, as you see, coming this year. The other was on a reverse. In for the point after, Jimmy Stevens. So points off a turnover, off the bump, off the punt. And when we come back, Darren Horton is going to be in our College Football Saturday studio with a preview of the College Football Saturday halftime show, with the Sooners up now by 11, 21-10.
Coming up on the Big 12 College Football Saturday halftime show, number 2 Alabama in Starkville tonight, taking on Mississippi State. We'll have the highlights of all the unbeatens coming your way on the Big 12 College Football Saturday halftime show. Let's get you back to Joel Myers, Gary Reasons, and Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Darren. Good night for football. Always good to be in Norman, Oklahoma, one of the great tradition-rich campuses. What a setting. And Ryan Broyles with his 2nd touchdown of the game. Points off a turnover. Don't forget they started at the 22 of A&M as they put it on the ground on the punt. Gray waits for the kick along with Stevens, and it's going to be Bradley Stevens over to the far side. He'll take it from the 17, the short directional kick. And good return across the 30 up to the 35 as we check in with Jim Knox. Knoxy.
Okay, Joel, Oklahoma Sooners did not need this. Ben Haber, their fine center right now on the bench, and as you can see, they're working on his left shoulder. He came off after that touchdown. There's a great deal of pain. Right now they're working on Ben Habern's left shoulder, guys.
Well, you don't want to have that go bad for him, because Habern redshirt freshman, done a decent job holding up inside as a center. Certainly don't want to have to go back to having somebody else out there. Brian Lepak may get the nod if he can't go.
It'll be a first down. And Gerard Johnson, talk about a fastball. It's complete, and it had to be like that touchdown pass going to Fuller.
Yeah, Fuller and Jackson are having a war out there. Those two guys are kind of going at it here in the end zone, in the middle of the field. Brian Jackson, one of the better cornerbacks in the country, I think, and throwing it out there on him one-on-one in this contact, and Fuller pulling that one in.
And another big receiver. You've seen a few of those tonight. Fuller 6'4", 220. He's only a sophomore from McKinney, Texas. Little toss sweep action. Gray gets it across the midfield stripe on first down, and 3 yards down to the 49, where he's dropped by Gerald McCoy.
Trying to go counter against this fast Oklahoma defense. Start one way and then pitch it back to the outside, and good job by the Sooners of containing him, not allowing a big play.
Now this team's speed, the recovery of an Oklahoma front seven. It'll be 2nd and 7 at the 49. Empty backfield for Johnson, although he's like a running back. They stunt up front. Now he's in trouble. That will just throw it away. Well, the heat came early from Travis Lewis as he circled. Thought he was coming right. He came in left. Nobody touched him.
Well, Travis Lewis actually had coverage on the back and the back block, so he says, I'm going to go ahead and rush through my gap in my back to bring pressure on the quarterback. So he does that. So that's an extra rusher in the system. You're not really designed as a rush, so it's a smart play by Travis Lewis, knowing that he can rush the quarterback in that situation.
It'll be 3rd and 7. Only 3 of 9 on the third down tries so far, Texas A&M. Inside of 8 to play in the half.
I see all these red jerseys here near the line of scrimmage. Just bringing 3.
That is it. Good bubble, good protection, and batted away. Quentin Carter timed it as they went over to the far side for Morrow, senior from Keller.
Yeah, they feint that they're going to bring pressure to Gerard Johnson, and they've dropped back in coverage, and Johnson tries to thread it in there, throwing a fastball, but not able to pull that one in. So the Sooners do a good job defensively here on this series.
Well, it is amazing the way he throws it in traffic, that he's only had 4 picked off this year and better than 350 pass attempts. Fair catch called for and taken in by Broyles. A wobbly approach, it worked just the same. So when we come back, the Sooners up by 11, have it at their own 15. Sooners get it back up by 11, and all season long Champion Apparel is going to be showcasing the history and traditions of the Big 12 Conference. Tonight, we highlight A&M. Champion, it's how you play. And they put it back into play with 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the half. Run Rattery, the tight end, in motion. Why not? We haven't had enough flags, have we? False start.
Now, Kevin Wilson knows it's got to be 1st and 15. He knows it.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 47 of the offense. Penalty will be 5 yards, remains first down.
That's just the tight end. He was dragging in motion. He obviously moved toward the line, didn't he?
Steps forward, that's what he's done. So this is another way that they're just continually shooting themselves in the foot. First down penalties against Oklahoma.
Take it back to the 10. They obviously like 1st and 15, don't they? Halfway through the second 15 minutes of play. Jones, good pocket protection. Now out of the end zone. Got to throw it away, and he will. Over to Nell.
You got to be impressed there for Joe Kine's defense in that secondary.
He got tagged, by the way, at the end of the play.
Staying glued on these receivers as Andrew Jones does get a little contact.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 19 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Eddie Brown, the sophomore from Waller, Texas. What a mistake.
Well, as you pursue here, you know you're going to make a play, and Brown does not need to push. And that is not a smart play. You know, coaches, they preach all the time, play smart, play within yourself, but there's never any reason to push a player with 2 hands. Never a reason. If you're going to hit him, tackle him.
What a gift.
Don't push.
Yeah, instead of 2nd and 15, Gary, from the 10. It's 1st and 10 Oklahoma at the 25. But both teams come into the game tonight at 5 and 4, and both with some excruciating losses, close losses, especially Oklahoma. Ton of time for Jones, and boy, coming all the way across the field It is to Nell once again for a first down to the 44. He had that much pocket protection.
A lot of protection, and I tell you, Adrian Tennell continues on this route. Last week in the ball game against Nebraska, he took a shot in the middle of the field, and Tennell, I'm glad that he got up from that. He's able to come back, but he's going to come across the field from the right side. You see him there. He's going to continue that route. Good throw by Landry Jones.
Breathing room close to the midfield stripe. Adjust DeMarco Murray. And it worked. Best run of the night. Turns the corner of the 50 down the sideline with the flag down to the play. And it'll come back. The way it was thrown, somebody might have been holding on the edge.
Well, they have not been able to win the edge all season long here without Brody Eldridge at tight end. You have to have a sure blocker at the tight end spot to be able to win that edge. I thought they might have had a play here where they kind of kicked that defensive end out, but might have been a hold in the process.
Holding, number 80 of the offense. The penalty would be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Remains first down.
Yeah, that's on Adrian Tennell on the outside, so makes the big grab, and now the hold penalty out there. But this is a good run by DeMarco Murray coming off the right side there. You see the block, and that's pretty good right there. Just good inside, and good job by DeMarco getting inside. I don't see where Tennell is. He's on the outside. There he is. He's got number 7. And get some cloth inside.
You saw 5 of their 7 on first down. And good grab under tight coverage. Taken in by Broyles. Boy, good hands. Garrick Williams right on his back. It's a gain of only 2. So if you're going to get the penalty, and we've seen it before with Oklahoma, obviously, at least you have a chance to recover.
Yeah, and Garrick Williams, he's a sophomore linebacker, more like a strong safety. 6'2", 230, can really run.
That's a game's worth already. 7 for 59 penalties on Oklahoma. Murray in the flat and didn't exactly put him in a position to succeed. Threw it behind him. Garrick Williams cleans up on the play after a gain of a yard or 2 as we're back downstairs with Jim Knox.
All right, guys, talking to Sam Bradford before the game, I asked him, he was on the sidelines last week against Nebraska, and he saw Landry Jones throw 5 interceptions. I asked him if he talked to him throughout the game. He said every now and then he will talk to him, but the job really belongs to Josh Heupel. But Sam Bradford tries to help Landry Jones out throughout the game every now and then.
All right, Knoxy. Right now, Landry Jones 11 for 20 with a touchdown toss to Broyles. He's also had 1 picked off with a deflection off Kinney. It went to Michael Hodges. And looks at a 3rd and a little more than 6. Middle of the field wide open is Broyles. He's got it. He paid for it. And he's got a first down hanging on with a shot and a flag. Maybe it was a lead with the helmet at the 21.
Yeah, got to get another 15 tacked on top of this. This is 2 deep zone coverage, and they get Broyles down the middle of the field. And this is targeting the player in above the shoulders. That's what the penalty is going to be tacked on to the end of the run here.
Personal foul against the defense, targeting the receiver above the shoulders. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. First down.
Is Jordan Pugh on the stop.
There's nothing wrong with leading with the shoulder, but he leads up high above the neck, and he's leading with that right arm going up there. Well, I don't think we had a good look at it right there, but that's definitely what happened. So get an extra few yards there for Ryan Broyles. Good to see that he's up and no problem there, but definitely a penalty by Jordan Pugh.
So 1st and 10, almost like 1st and goal. Brown belts his way inside the 7 and takes a shot during the process. They can get a first down, but only inches outside of the goal line. Patterson in on the hit. So a long first half with a lot of penalties. 5+ to play in the opening 30 minutes. That's 5 penalties against Texas A&M, 8 on Oklahoma. Pocket collapses. It's behind the intended target to Nell. Decent coverage, though, just the same by McQueen.
Well, this is a slant pass, and Tennell's got to come in inside, and he does. And Landry Jones got to lead him inside on his inside hip. That ball, there's a little press with it. I see a little pressure in the face of the quarterback, and not able to stick that ball in there like he'd like to and follow through with it.
A big play now for A&M defensively. Already down by 11. Can they hold them to 3 at a 2-score game at that? With a 14-point deficit as opposed to a lot more. Inside Brown, look out, touchdown Oklahoma.
Well, simple old reliable play here. You spread the defense out, and guess what? You take it to them with the run game inside. Chris Brown off the left side. He's in the backfield, and simple little handoff here straight ahead. Offensive line, Trent Williams trying to block out. Doesn't even need to block. Good job by Chris Brown, just going north and south and getting into the end zone.
9-play, 85-yard drive. Took only 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And Jimmy Stevens with the point after. And with that score, Chris Brown, his 41st career rushing touchdown, so that's 41. And it ties Adrian Peterson, 4th all-time here at Oklahoma. Well, we look back at the 2004 game, Kyle Field College Station, between these two teams. Down by 7 to the second half. Aggies line up for a field goal. It's a fake, though. Chad Schrader hits Joey Thomas for the touchdown. Now tied to 35, Heisman Trophy. Winning quarterback Jason White, freshman running back Adrian Peterson. They took over, didn't they? And on 3rd and 10, White hits Mark Bradley. It is the game winner. White's 5th touchdown pass. It tied Josh Heupel's single game record at the time. And Oklahoma, number 2 in the nation at the time, 42-35 was the final. Now, that record has been broken since, and we were here for it. When Landry Jones, that young man, threw 6 against Tulsa. So a 28-10 lead. And that was a longer drive. Didn't take much time off the clock, though, did it?
And penalties a big part of that, too. Texas A&M, the unnecessary roughness penalty on the quarterback, and that allowed them to continue that drive. And penalties have plagued Oklahoma to start their drive. So kind of going back and forth here.
What about the frustration? Sam Bradford's such a great kid.
He really is a great young man.
How frustrated he is.
You know, he's such a competitor in anything that he does, and I know he's just wanting to be out there playing. It's just that circumstances don't allow.
They need a home run ball, don't they? Cyrus Gray, down by 18, will take it from the 6 for the Aggies.
He's more than capable.
And puts it on the ground, and it's covered by A&M very alertly. At the bottom of the pile, it appears to be Bradley Stevens, the other return man, and it is. Heads-up play.
Well, they ran to the near sideline, and that's what they've got called. But there's a gap or a seam to the left side. If Cyrus Gray was able to see it, and they see the ball being knocked out there.
Austin Box forced it, the sophomore from Enid, Oklahoma.
Austin Box, the backup linebacker, doing a good job in coverage and getting that ball out. You got to secure that football in tight areas.
I like a lot of cities in Oklahoma, but Enid is my favorite place in Oklahoma. Austin Box's hometown. Michael spinning his way across the 30 out to the 31. Brought down by Travis Lewis.
When's the last time you've been to Enid, Joel?
My mother-in-law's from Enid, Oklahoma.
Is that right?
All-time favorite city. Yes. So, fond place for me, Enid, Oklahoma. I try to get back a few times a year. 2nd and 8. Now, Gerard Johnson going for the home run ball and over the fingertips of Wachiku, who they have not looked for, but one of the tops in the nation when it comes to average yards per catch. In fact, 21 per catch when he does get to the football.
Uzoma Wachiku does a great job here getting down the field. Just a freshman out of high school, 6 foot, 190 pounds, plenty of speed, and this ball a little bit overthrown, as you said, and he is a deep threat. There's no doubt about that. Johnson knows he let one get away.
Floated. He throws a lot of ropes. He is so strong, Gerard Johnson.
I mean, how many balls have we seen Texas A&M throw down the field today? I think we're probably approaching 10 passes that have been traveled over 30 or 40 yards down the field against this OU defense.
It'll be 3rd and close to 8. Here comes the heat on Gerard Johnson. And in trouble. Throws it in the direction of Wachiku. So 3 and out. But go back to, not that it's going to be a touch pass because you're throwing a deep ball to begin with, but a little something under it because he has such arm strength. He thinks he can throw 40 and 50-yard ropes.
Well, it's not that you can throw the ball very, very far, but you got to throw it accurately and throw it far. And we talked to the defensive coaches here from Oklahoma, and they feel like that he does throw that ball, deep ball, very, very well. Just a little bit off here in this ball game.
In to punt it away.
Epperson.
Yep, Epperson had off the side of his foot. So a break now for Oklahoma. They're going to have it close to midfield at about the 46. So at the top of the telecast, we were talking about man underneath, the defensive tackle Gerald McCoy, who's on everybody's watch list right now. And he has put together a season where He never wants to leave the field. Most of the time, they'll rotate the front four, and there'll be 8 guys, but not when it comes to Gerald McCoy. Right, Jim Knox?
Exactly, and on display here, right here at Memorial Stadium, Lombardi Award. That's right, the Rotary Lombardi Award will be handed out December 9th in Houston. Gerald McCoy, one of the 4 finalists. 3 other Oklahoma Sooners have won this award, going to the best offense or defensive lineman in the nation. They are, of course, Leroy Selman, Tony Casillas, and Tommy Harris, guys.
Thank you, Jim. Landry Jones wanted DeMarco Murray, but he was blanketed out in the flat on the roll after they brought misdirection the other way.
Yeah, pretty good company that he's in there. Gerald McCoy in the finalist group. You got Ndamukong Suh from Nebraska still in the hunt. You got a defensive tackle from Alabama in there, and Jerry Hughes from TCU. So those 4 gentlemen, one of them is going to walk away with that award very, very soon here.
First team All Big 12 last year, second team All-American out of Oklahoma City. Murray finally a little toss, and it worked for the first down as he's run out just outside of the 40.
Contact there, kind of short sidelines here. You slide on the sidelines, and Marco Murray, you get the pitch here from Landry Jones. Goes right into Tennell and trying to take who he's blocking, and
got into it with McQueen. McQueen forced him out, but not before the first down. There have been very few first downs for Oklahoma on the ground. They'll keep it there, though. Last touchdown came on the ground, and 4 for DeMarco Murray. Well, we talked to Bob Stoops earlier this week about his really gifted big guy. He's only a junior from Oklahoma City, DeMarco Murray, and the fact that the guy really doesn't want to leave the field.
Gerald's a really unique individual. He is an incredible student and a person. There's so much to this guy, and then you have all that ability to go on top of it. You know, he's just explosive. He's quick. He's fast. He's powerful. And, you know, there are not many guys that can play 80 snaps a game at the level he plays.
DeMarco Murray down the sideline. Touchdown, Oklahoma. He stayed in bounds.
excellent job by Landry Jones, just counting on his speedy tailback, and he takes it down the sideline. And power into the end zone. That's what you like at the end of this play. Just throws it out there, and then watch him win the race to the edge and get up the field and lower the shoulder. That's power getting it into the end zone. He's not going to be denied.
So it's only a little flare. It went 36 yards, though, on the touchdown pass to DeMarco Murray. And Jimmy Stevens in for the point after. Sophomore from Oklahoma City. And getting away early now from the Aggies, trailing by 25.
Well, exceptional athlete, a lot of explosive play capability here with DeMarco Murray. When he gets on the outside, catches the football really well, and then Terrence Frederick not able to do anything with him, keeping him out of the end zone. A little more determined there, DeMarco Murray, and a little bit more larger in size too. 20-pound difference there between those two, and a nice, powerful entry into the end zone.
Well, the Sooners already had a 37-second drive that took only 3 snaps. Now they've got a 4-play, 54-yard drive. Took a minute 11 off the clock, and it further illustrates why time of possession, absolutely nothing. I mean, now it's almost like outdated when you talk about teams and time of possession, because you can hold on to the ball all you want and do nothing between the 20s and fail in the red zone. The teams that capitalize, they can do it quickly, like Bob Stoops and the Oklahoma Sooners. So it really has become meaningless more and more in college football.
Quick strike, up-tempo offense. That's exactly what Oklahoma likes to do.
Gray and Stevens will wait for the kick from Moreland. And Matthew Moreland, line drives it. It will be Cyrus Gray, yard into the end zone. Slight delay, a little deliberation. And he's out across the 23. Ball on the ground again, and I think Oklahoma may come up with it. It looks like Oklahoma scrambled their way to another one. Well, now who's the better wrestler? See Lewis at the bottom of the pile. Sooners have it.
Well, 2 consecutive kickoff returns here by Cyrus Gray, and the ball is pulled out. This is just something you cannot allow to happen as a kick returner. You've got to secure that football once you get into traffic. Lewis there coming up with the football. So Cyrus Gray here you know, a speedy returner, but he gets into traffic. You got to take care of that football. His box right there, number 12 again. He's the one that pulled it out. I'm not sure. There it is. There's a lot of
Ronell Lewis.
Sooner jerseys around that football.
So the Sooners, and are they going to review this play? Yes, they will. It was Gray already down when it was ripped away. So was his knee down? That is the contention. $35-10 already. Will it go from bad to a lot worse for Texas A&M?
Yeah, you can't put the ball on the ground. There's no doubt about that. Turnovers at any time, but especially turnovers in the kick game, it's can be deadly.
Twin Bill on college football Saturday next week. Oklahoma on the road. We are going to be in Lubbock, Texas. And then it's going to be Pac-10 matchup. Arizona State, UCLA at the Rose Bowl.
The ball belongs to Oklahoma. First down.
Is this going to be the definition of ugly early? So it all starts next Saturday at 12:30 Eastern. 9:30 out of the West Coast. 2:47 to play in the half. Joel Myers, Gary Reasons, and a lot to be heard from Jim Knox. I got a feeling in the second half tonight. And a 35-10 game. Will it be 42-10? Marco Murray is the single. Behind Clapp, who's trying to block for him. Murray about 4. Down to the 21. So the Sooners couldn't do anything offensively. Nebraska's defense, one of the better ones, though, in the Big 12. In fact, Nebraska is the only team better than Oklahoma when it comes to the stingy aspect. Now, Oklahoma gives up 12 points a game, Nebraska 10. And Nebraska shut them down last week. It's a Wildcat set, and Murray is going to take the snap. He can get himself up the middle. It was a good decision. It's his read with Broyles sliding in motion. And he's brought down by Michael Hodges. 1st and 10 of the 12.
Nothing wrong with that. Get a chance to get a playmaker, the ball in his hands, nice and easy. Takes the ball from center and reads the defense, does not hand it, and says, hey, I'll make this play.
So more Texas barbecue next week in Lubbock. We like it. Murray again, Wildcat action. Down he goes. Just lost his footing. Back outside the original line. Maybe we lost a yard. Garrick Williams there on top of the play. It'll be second down in the final 2 minutes of the half. So it was 14-10, and now 21 unanswered by Oklahoma, capitalizing on mistakes. Murray out of the conventional set. Landry Jones. He's shot down at the 11.
Trying to go power football there. Your basic eye and lead play with Matt Clapp, the fullback, in there, trying to give DeMarco Murray an opening inside. Well played by Texas A&M. So 3rd down and 8 here from around the 10-yard line.
And this is a guy that was first team all Big 12 last year for Bob Stoops. DeMarco Murray having problems staying healthy this season. The ankle slowed him down. He's missed a couple of games, but everybody says bright future still.
He's still got a future. There's no doubt about that. DeMarco Murray is an exceptional athlete, and he's a guy that can make big plays anytime the ball's in his hands, and that's what you like about him. But question mark about him is his health. Can he stay healthy? Will he be able to play on Sundays?
Oklahoma, this is their first of the half.
Bob Stoops came down the sideline and called the timeout himself to the linesman. At one point, it was 7-6 in first downs. A&M. Now it's 14-7. A&M early. Total yards, but Oklahoma 264 as they've taken over. 2 different 15 minutes completely.
No doubt about that. The second quarter is definitely owned by Oklahoma, moving the football pretty well.
Now they've taken 6 straight against A&M, 9 of the previous 10 from the Aggies. And the Aggies building back up under Mike Sherman and improving. 4-8 last year in his first year, 5-4 so far this season. And I talked about the close losses last week by a point, losing at Kyle Field at home to Oklahoma State, a quality opponent, by 5. But their defense, that's where they need to make the significant improvement.
Now they're so young, Joel. 17 of the 22, as I said, are freshmen or sophomores, and 10 freshmen out there. 2 freshmen start for A&M defensively.
Jump ball complete and a touchdown. Tennell, another for Oklahoma.
Well, Adrian Tennell just uses his size and ability to catch his football, and good throw there that time by Landry Jones, getting the ball out, getting it out quickly so that he's able to make a play on the football. And take a look at Adrian Tennell on the outside, just going inside and circling back. Almost a hold there. Terrence Frederick not able to hold him out of the end zone. And almost a celebration with the ball being thrown in the air. I saw the official going right towards him after he tossed that ball in the air. Adrian Tennell's got to watch that.
More points off a turnover on the fumble by Cyrus Gray. So Ronell Lewis recovered it. Jimmy Stevens converts on the extra point. And again, less than a 2-minute drive. 5 plays, 25 yards, and the 11-yard touchdown pass to Tennell.
That's a good mark of a good football team when you're able to capitalize on turnovers, kick game. You recover a fumble on a kickoff, and offense does what it needs to do to get the ball in the end zone. Nice job by the Sooners of converting.
Didn't see this coming at all. 54 seconds left in the half. I don't think A&M saw it coming either, but it's a different story. They've won 28 straight here for a reason. The longest streak in the nation. And even when they're struggling, because they are, and it's not a normal Oklahoma season because of all the injuries and the lack of continuity, and especially by the guys that run the engine room, their offensive line. But at home, they're putting it all together, and they're taking care of every mistake tonight by A&M. So touchdown passes by quarterbacks, freshman quarterbacks, and it's a redshirt freshman, Landry Jones. He's got 20 with the completions tonight, and he's got 3 of those this evening to go along with 1 interception, passing for 175 yards. Moreland will kick it away. And it's right by Cyrus Gray. Man, oh man. He's in trouble. He's down at the 3. Just misjudged.
Well, 2 consecutive plays. He fumbled the ball on a kickoff return, and now he misjudges the kickoff and does not handle it, does not catch that, and got to go back and pick his laundry up back there. You see this ball going back behind him. He says, uh-oh, I touched it. I got to pick it up now. And, boy, he's going to take some punishment here. A&M now inside their 5-yard line, having to come out for a long field. And Oklahoma, well, they're just going to pin their ears back here and come after this team now.
Well, it's interesting because the kickoffs from Moreland have been low line drive hooks. Where normally, guys, let's face it, they're used to the high ones that they can settle in under.
And we got a false start here by A&M also, so losing their composure a little bit here.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 61 of the offense. Half the distance to the goal, remains first down.
And again, Patrick Lewis, the true freshman, playing the right guard spot, it's gonna pick up early. Just rocks it there early, and it's something you can't do. And that's just a little cadence there at the line of scrimmage. Gerard Johnson's got to handle that better.
So on a first down, Johnson will just hang on to it. You don't want to hand off. And all of a sudden, there's a safety. Get a couple of yards out of it. Let's also remember that that's their catalyst period. Gerard Johnson leads the Big 12 in total offense. So far tonight, he is 9 of 24 for 86 yards. Here's a guy who's thrown 21 touchdowns this year. He's had only 4 picked off, and he also scrambles well. He can get out on the edge and run for first downs, and that hasn't happened either.
You can see his capability and why he's one of the leaders in the country as far as total offense and his ability to throw the football. He's a big quarterback, has good command of the pocket. Just playing a very fast, explosive Oklahoma defense, and they're challenging him up front, and they're challenging the receiver. So it's not an easy night for Gerard Johnson whatsoever.
So the timeout by Oklahoma, their second of the first half. It's funny because last time we were here against Kansas State with 90 seconds left, Oklahoma had it. At about the 30-yard line, they had 3 timeouts on the board and did not elect, at least 2, but I'm almost certain it was 3, didn't use any of them. And then they had a ball game out of it, 35-30 with 7 minutes to play. So they're using them here for defensive purposes. It was offensively last time.
Got a defensive coordinator on the near sideline here, Brent Venables. This is a situation where he thinks that defense can score inside the 5-yard line. If you can keep that offense from moving out of there, you can possibly make a big play or a play in the end zone, get a safety or cause the ball to come loose, pick up a fumble. Anything can happen.
Yeah, but Gerard Johnson, all he has to do is take a knee. They're out of timeouts after they stop it here. He'll take another knee, and they go to the locker room because the timeout was used earlier on offense. So one final timeout, and now Gerard Johnson can do exactly the same thing. So throwing the football has not worked. Gray's only got 26 yards on the ground. 7 for 16 for Christian Michael.
Well, Oklahoma scoring. Good job here by Brian Jackson picking up the loose football to get the points on the board. Huge run back there on the return, and then Ryan Broyles on the end around to get the second touchdown for Oklahoma. Landry Jones, he can throw the football also to Ryan Broyles, so a couple of touchdowns for Ryan, and then Chris Brown showing his speed, just bursting through the hole. Landry Jones getting points on the board with DeMarco Murray here after the kickoff return, the fumble there.
And it is put on the ground. It didn't look like he was ready for the snap. Is there a flag over to the far side? Yes, there is.
There was no play. False start. Number 63 of the offense. The penalty's half the distance to the goal. Remains third down.
So they put 37 seconds back on the board.
I'm not sure if he just double clutches football. That's Matthews, the center. They're going to call him on the penalty here. He kind of moved his arm. Not sure what they called there.
So Gerard Johnson just has to take it cleanly, take a knee, and that'll do it. They'll go to the locker room down by 32, where it's tough to play catch up when you're down by 7 or 10.
I would agree to that. There's no doubt about that.
So
Coach Sherman's going to have some find some answers at halftime, come back out, play a clean half. They didn't play clean football. Penalties, problems, things like that kind of crept in the late in the second quarter on Texas A&M.
And a 28-0 shutout in the second quarter by Oklahoma, because remember it was 14-10 after the end of the first 15 minutes of play. Oklahoma was only up by 4. Different story though as they head to the locker room at halftime, and they capitalized on every mistake as well by A&M. Let's check in once again with Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, thank you, Joel. Yeah, Joel was just talking about you guys, Coach, capitalized on just about every mistake A&M made.
Yeah, we're fortunate. A few turnovers, and but still proud of the offense. We're having some balance, running and throwing it, and taking advantage of some good situations.
Defense also playing a nice game against Gerard Johnson.
Really happy. Defense, other than the one long yardage touchdown there, has been really solid.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Halftime in Norman, Oklahoma, and is all Sooners 42-10. Right now, let's join Darren Horton with the College Football Saturday halftime show. Darren.
Halftime continues in Norman, Oklahoma. And tail of 2 quarters. It was close, 14-10 at the end of the first 15 minutes of play, but a 28-0 second quarter for the Sooners, and they're up at the break, 42-10. Well, right now, time for our Land Rover presents the current BCS standings. And when you look at the BCS standings, shouldn't change a whole bunch. Although the bottom 5, you might see a little movement there. But Florida, Alabama, Texas, TCU taking care of business like Cincinnati did in a tough matchup with West Virginia. Iowa loses though, and USC gets tagged. 55 points given up by the number 9 team, while LSU, that would be a monstrous upset if they lose 13-10 to Louisiana Tech. Well, fans, Land Rover wants to send you to the college football bowl game of your choice. Go to LandRoverUSA.com to register for the Road to the Bowl sweepstakes. Today, tonight, the next day. Just do it. And welcome back once again to Norman. Joel Myers alongside Gary Reasons, and a tale of 2 quarters, and also way too many turnovers for the Aggies of Texas A&M, and seems like Stoops' Sooners capitalized every time.
They really did. They just took care of business when they had to, and the second quarter was their quarter. First quarter, Texas A&M kind of fought back and forth with them, but they took charge. The second half, the Oklahoma Sooners did.
Have to take care of the football. And also, Gerard Johnson's been their catalyst all year long, let's face it. So Gerard Johnson, he's got to get it going for him. We're going to put a dent in the deficit of 32 points, but overall, Oklahoma, short fields, and they got into the end zone.
They really did. They took advantage of the turnovers that Texas A&M gave them. Take a look here early in the football game. Christian Michael puts the ball on the ground, and Brian Jackson uses his speed, picks it up. This is the first touchdown for Oklahoma in the football game, a defensive score. And then you got the punt block here. The one tipped by the Texas A&M and picked up by Oklahoma. They get that ball there, and Landry Jones does what he does best. Finds a receiver in the end zone. Ryan Broyles capitalizes on that. Again now, Cyrus Gray here. He's had 2 punt kickoff return fumbles. This one picked up by Oklahoma, and they convert that again. So turnovers are key. 5 fumbles in the football game for Texas A&M. They've lost 3 of those, so overall Oklahoma has benefited, and they have turned those turnovers into points.
We'll head downstairs in just a moment. Check in a little bit later with Jim Knox. And to compound the problem, it's going to be Oklahoma bringing it back. Moses Madu trying to make a miss. He is shot down, crossing the 20 at the 22. Jim Knox.
All right, Joe, there goes that Aggie defense going out on the field trying to hold Oklahoma's offense. Did just get through talking to Mike Sherman, Aggie's head coach. He said you can't come into Oklahoma and turn the ball over that many times. Second half, we just got to hold on to the football. And, Joe, keep in mind, we were here a couple weeks ago. We thought the game was over, and Kansas State came back and made a game out of it. We'll see what the Aggies do right here.
Well, Jim, you've got a good memory, but it was 28-3, and it was still the first half. So not to diminish everyone's hope for the Aggies, it's 42-10, and Oklahoma has the football. Landry Jones finding his target Tennell, who's gone to a few times tonight. And a look at our first half numbers, Gary.
Now, there's no doubt about that. The turnovers key, 3 of them for Texas A&M. In this football game, they have turned those into points, and overall, Oklahoma's done well on third down. They have converted 60% of the time. So, but the penalties there, really for both teams, the penalties have kind of shot them in the foot, getting stall offensive drives and continuing others.
Good effort. Tenacious DeMarco Murray kept it going and gets the first down by about a yard. It seemed like they stopped him a couple of yards as we look back at the first half possession. Kind of a slow start for Oklahoma, and then they picked it up because they had great field position, except for the one of the final 4. So you see the touchdowns, 4 straight, the 28 points in the second quarter. Murray again. And this time they will keep him behind the line. Michael Hodges came up with the interception in the first half. So the leaders in the first 30 minutes of play for the Sooners. And it was also slow beginning for Landry Jones, but he picked up the pace.
Yeah, pretty decent.
Murray got it going.
Decent half there for Landry Jones, I think, and Ryan Broyles catching the football and getting DeMarco Murray to run. So offensively, they kind of came of them old selves basically in the second quarter.
Looking in the direction of Tennell. And now it's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Sooners on the first drive of the second half. Going back to your keys at the very beginning tonight, Gary.
Yeah, talk about rock and roll, and that just means operate offensively. They did that in the second quarter, 191 total yards, and take away the big play by Texas A&M, and I think they've done that as well.
They've only got 2 home losses in Bob Stoops' tenure here at Oklahoma. 65-2, DeMarco Murray, a lot of room to roll. Across the midfield stripe. Making a miss now in the secondary, and look out, he may go the distance. Do they have enough time and an angle? No. Touchdown Oklahoma. Innocent enough looking play, wasn't it?
Well, he's had this tag about him, Joel, ever since he's been here as a freshman at the University of Oklahoma. People could see the spurt, they could see the explosiveness, they could see the type of plays that DeMarco Murray could make. This is just a tremendous effort. He's got a great little swing pass to the outside here from Landry Jones. And there's no defender in front. And he sees the vision of the field, and he takes it across the field because there was one defender there on that side, and he just outruns the Texas A&M defense.
Well, as soon as you caught it, you said touchdown in the background. Clairvoyant, it's blocked. Jimmy Stevens try. One of the few mistakes for Oklahoma. So it took a long time again, a 5-play, 78-yard drive. Minute 25 seconds. 90 seconds gone in the third. 48-10. Oklahoma. Big 12 College Football Saturday brought to you by Sports Clips Haircuts. At Sports Clips, good to be a guy. By Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Yard care solutions start at steeldealers.com. By Land Rover, the luxury that's more than a luxury. Visit LandRoverUSA.com today. And the First Down Marker is brought to you by Overstock.com. At Overstock.com, our award-winning customer service will make you feel at home with the O. Plenty of offense now from DeMarco Murray and Oklahoma. Well, you can pad your stats when you're throwing the ball 5 yards and your backs are taken at 67. Lionel Smith is going back deep now, along with Bradley Stevens. So they're giving Cyrus Gray a break for a tough first half. Wind continues to whip into the face of the kicker Moreland, and it knocks it down at the 12. And across the 23, it's out at the 24. Time now for a Whataburger, what a play. you predicted as soon as he caught it, it was going for the touchdown.
Well, Landry Jones is going to have his tailback come across DeMarco Murray, and when he gets over to hold it right there, and you'll see what he's going to see. He's going to see all this real estate out here. There's nobody there. You got your strong safety, Trent Hunter, number 1, going inside, and he's got nobody in front. That's why he's kind of slowing down, reading what's out there, and then he just takes it across the field, saw a lane there, and then he uses his speed to get to the end zone. What a play.
What a burger. From the 23. Bradley Stevens in the backfield. They'll give it to Stevens, who's tripped up going across the line of scrimmage out to the 24. Gain of only 1 for the Aggies. For the most part, the Aggies have been in just about every game this year. Coming off the 1-point loss, before that beat Iowa State by 25, a 22-point win, and Lubbock over Texas Tech. The only game where they really got smoked was Kansas State, and that was 62-14. Arkansas wasn't as bad. Now, though, a 38-point deficit. On the out, grab made. And taking it in on the far side is Jeff Fuller.
Yeah, Jeff Fuller's kind of showed me something tonight, that he's a competent receiver, a sophomore receiver. He's got good size, 6'4", 215 pounds, and he'll compete. He and Brian Jackson having a little war out there on the outside. They've been on each other quite a bit tonight, and Fuller doing a nice job of pulling the football in, and he and Gerard Johnson working, got pretty good chemistry.
Well, he's a sophomore from McKinney. They've got 2 true freshmen, Brandel Jackson and Wachiku, who leads the team with a 21-yard average. He's still looking for his first grab of the game. And through the hands of Howard Morrow. So it's going to bring up 4th down.
And first half possessions, you know, not what you want to have happen early on. You get the field goal and the touchdown there in the middle, but nothing else going.
A lot of what ifs for Oklahoma this year. And I'm talking about what if. Forget about Sam Bradford, but they lose by a point to open the season to BYU, by a point to Miami. They almost get to the punter. He'll let it roll. Man, it'll be down inside the 35. So 4 losses by a total of 12 points for the Sooners. 5-4 coming in, but no worries so far tonight. Leading by 38. 3 minutes gone by as the Sooners are up 48-10 and get the football back. So A&M had it once, and it is gone very quickly. From the 33, Oklahoma bowl eligible with their win tonight. It will be 6-4. Aggies also need a win to get to 6. DeJuan Miller, who's kind of the forgotten guy tonight, sophomore from Metuchen. And the last time we were here, man, he was a focal point against Kansas State. Big guy, 6'4", 225. First down marker brought to you by Overstock.com. Shop at the company that supports college football. Overstock.com. At home with the O. Wildcat. DeMarco Murray had worked in the first half, and it works in the second half on second and a little more than a yard. He's got the first down out close to the 48.
Almost a miscue there, getting one almost past DeMarco. Tried to get it with one hand, kind of bobble that snap. He was reading the defense and wasn't looking at the football.
Well, last week they faced the #1 defense in the conference for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. It's complete. DeMarco Murray. Another first down, and now way too easy.
Well, when you got your tailback running down the field on a little 7 route, little flag route outside, and Landry Jones just comfortably drops it in there. That's good production, and DeMarco Murray's having a pretty good evening.
31 yards on the reception. So quickly from their own 33. It is 1st and 10 at the A&M 21. Murray again. That time took a good lick at the 19. So last week they don't score a touchdown. First time in a game for the Sooners since '98 against Texas A&M. They didn't get into the end zone, but the other extreme against the last rated defense in the Big 12.
Yeah, 11 years has been a long time, and it just shows you how productive that Oklahoma has been offensively.
DeMarco Murray, he had the option. He'll keep it himself. Royals times it pretty well, doesn't he?
Well, he does. You know, it's kind of a speed sweep look there. A lot of teams do that. They try to get the defense to converge on that sweep around. DeMarco Murray taking that direct snap. Joe Kine's defense coordinator, you know, he's probably seen it all.
So complete effort by the junior from Las Vegas, Marco Murray. And now it's going to be 3rd and 7. Talked about capitalizing on turnovers and taking care of business in the red zone. Jones has to get rid of it because of the heat. He had Broyles or Megan Brown down the sideline, but didn't have that kind of time. So the field goal unit has been kind of a sore spot. Jimmy Stevens was 11 of 13 to start the season, but all of them fairly close. They wanted Tress Way to take over the role, but Tress Way outside of the 40 has missed the long field goals. He's only 1 of 5.
Well, they're going to give him a chance now, I think, to get him some confidence now. He did not come up well last week against Nebraska.
And he hooked it. Bob Stoops says that Tress Way is great in practice. A lot of guys are very good practice players.
Well, he's got to transfer that to the football game, and Tress Way the last couple of weeks not able to do that. That ball missed by about 5 yards.
It's still 48-10. Oklahoma. The 28-game home winning streak seems to be safe. Seems to be safe. It'll be number 29 straight. Chilly night started at 54. It's down now into the mid to low 40s. And welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma. Joel Myers, Gary Reasons, Jim Knox. He's taking it for the team down to the sideline right now. It's cold for Knoxie. Tough customer. From the 20, 1st and 10. See if Gerard Johnson, at least they can put together a drive, something to build on. Bradley Stevens is the running back and wheeling his way across the 25, brought down near the 27 by Ryan Reynolds. Knoxie, how cold is it?
Joel, it is, you know, it's getting there. We've had worse, but it's very nice down here on the sideline. Let's talk about the field goals. Patrick O'Hara right now warming up for the Sooners. You know, pregame warm-ups, he connected on his 62-yarder. Coach Stoops told him to get ready, so he may be next on the field goal list for the Oklahoma Sooners, guys.
Could be a good night to try them out with a comfortable lead here if they get field goal opportunities. So not really risking a whole lot there to put them out there in a game situation.
This was the scene that Jim Nice was talking about with O'Hara. And right now he's number 3 on the depth chart. So there's a 62-yarder, but as coaches will tell you, and I mean, whether it's a basketball coach or a football coach, I've seen a lot of good three-point shooters at 11:30 in the morning, but at 8 o'clock at night, they couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat.
I used to kick in college, and I kicked some field goals. I kicked some long ones like that, but nothing in the game. Never going to try it.
9:09 to play in the third. Gerard Johnson on 3rd and short. Guns it down the middle, and it's picked off. Jonathan Nelson with the interception.
Now this is a ball that Gerard Johnson's throwing out there thinking that his receiver's going to have a chance to catch the football, but the reality is there's just too many Sooners around this receiver. There's 3 guys back there who are in coverage, so any one of them could make a play, and Nelson does a nice job. He's playing deep to short. He's going to give a little help inside, and Keenan Clayton underneath, and not a chance there to get the ball tomorrow.
Tomorrow? What about tonight?
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike foul against the intercepting team for unnecessary celebration. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
At least he didn't put a dollar bill out. So they'll take it back on the mark-off.
I know that Ocho was in the building. A little celebration there. Nelson, a little excessive there in the minds of, they'll let you have a little fun, but they don't want you to, go too crazy.
Right, you're not going to try to show up your opponent, but I mean, he was celebrating with his teammates. Okay, Oklahoma has it back at the 15.
Coach Stoops over there being Coach Venables, he didn't like those penalties whatsoever.
See if they can run the football. No, they want to throw the football. And they want to throw it for Ryan Rose.
Tackling.
That's an arm drag and a toss. So it's a interference call on Justin McQueen. And Landry Jones, a little gimpy.
You don't want to see that there. Definitely get him banged up. Landry Jones getting taken to the turf, so.
Pass interference, number 21 of the defense. Penalties 15 yards, 1st down.
Landry Jones in the pocket on that pass, and see the brace on his left leg. Don't know if that's still an issue, and he throws the football and he gets contacted and hit. Kind of a bang play, so I don't think it's a problem defensively. So then there's definitely the tackle by McQueen on Broyles.
DeMarco Murray in the backfield. Man, a huge lane over to the right side. He's got a first down. Pugh gets him from behind. It's a gain of about 15.
Marco Murray showing that he's running pretty well. He's probably pushing up to 80 yards on the ground, I think, so far, and over 100 yards receiving in this ball game for DeMarco. So he's having an exceptional night offensively.
In the flat, Broyles breaking tackles inside the 40 and taking him on. He's got it down to the 24. Another first down, and back to what you were talking about. It's 17 carries for 77 yards for DeMarco Murray. And tag that with 5 catches for 143.
He's done a great job with it. And, you know, a lot of Oklahoma fans are wondering, why do they always throw the screen pass? Why do they always keep throwing that screen? Keep going back to it. Well, that's exactly why you throw that flat pass, because if you break a tackle, you can make a huge play, and Ryan Broyles did there. That's the explosiveness of that play, and that's why a lot of people in college football run that little bubble screen or quick screen to the outside, have that wide receiver block and get a gap, and you can make a huge play.
Murray took the direct snap that time. He got 4 yards. So 2nd and 6, almost 7, called it. Matt Clapp and Brown take over. One of the few times we've seen Bob Stoops put him in the eye. Nice run. Chris Brown put himself off balance, though.
One of the things that coming into this ball game was, how was the offensive line going to perform in this football game? This is the 6 offensive line combination. These guys up here, I think they've done a nice job tonight. Watch them get on their blocks here, and they're going to open the hole up here. See that? It's the lane he's going to find right there. Good job. The offensive line by Oklahoma.
Jones for the end zone and wide. Going for his tight end over on that side. Eric Mensick, 6'5", 260-pound junior. So it'll bring up 2nd and 10. They can still pick up another first down. It's inside the 12.
Eric Mensick's a junior, big frame, big guy out there, but not a Jermaine Gresham.
Yeah, with the loss of not only Gresham, and he was lost for the year before the year even started, but also Eldridge. Rattery has been the first option at tight end. Chris Brown, big hole, straight up the gut, touchdown Oklahoma.
Now they've just worn out this Texas A&M defense. They've thrown the ball down the field, and they've just run around the outside, and DeMarco Murray's had a good night, and Chris Brown gets the benefit here. You see the cut blocks there. They get those guys on the ground. Defensive lineman can't do anything. Eddie Brown there just gets cut block and playing a defensive tackle. You've got to be able to hold up inside defensively, otherwise it's going to be gaping holes, and that's what Oklahoma's creating right now for DeMarco Murray and Chris Brown.
Well, Patrick O'Hara's in for the point after. And it's good from 62. Well, time now for our Polaris hard-working player. Where's Jim Knox? Where is Jim Knox? I can't believe they haven't put him in the schooner yet tonight. DeMarco Murray, though, our Polaris hard-working player.
This play just kind of exemplifies what he's about. Physical play, running hard tonight, and using his athleticism, running the football very, very well, and catching the ball out of the backfield. You know, you take a back as talented as him, and with his speed, he's going to make huge plays for you over and over again. And DeMarco Murray certainly is had a tremendous game tonight, probably the largest career receiving game, I would imagine. Well over 100 yards. That's 205 yards total offense. So a couple of scores. That's hard working.
That 67-yarder was the best of his career. He caught about a 5-yard dump off and took it 67. And you know from your experience, he looks like a guy that's got the talent, the size, the skill to play on Sunday.
Now, there's no doubt about it. He's got speed. He's got a burst, Joel. And when you've got a burst, once you get that ball in your hands and you make decisive moves, that's what they like about him. That's what he has. He's got that skill and the ability. And he's just a junior here, so hopefully he'll be back here with Oklahoma. DeMarco's numbers on the evening: 143 yards receiving, 80 yards rushing, and the 2 touchdowns. So it's been a very, very productive night for him.
Lionel Smith is back there, along with Bradley Stevens, and the knuckleball. It's going to be Lionel Smith across the 25. And Crash lands at the 32 to the 33. I like what Mike Sherman's, when we talked to him earlier this week, said about going to this hurry-up offense, a tempo offense, not a hurry-up, but a tempo offense. And he has to compete in the Big 12 South. And that is the key. Because to compete in the Big 12 South with Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and Texas, you really need an offense that can do what those other teams are already doing.
It's explosive. That's what the offenses are definitely in this conference in the Big 12. And teams in the Big 12 South, definitely Texas has got that going. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma here, Texas Tech, and Texas A&M trying to follow suit. Baylor's deployed that type of offense as well. And Mike Sherman bringing in coaches that know a spread game. Actually got NFL caliber coaches back there with him. So they're implementing that in that offensive system.
Concern. Fallen Aggie. That's Valencia on the specials. Good to see him sitting up. Colton Valencia.
He just gets run into by the returner.
Yeah, it was friendly fire from behind. So good to see him up on his feet and on his way back to the A&M sideline. Well, we just saw what's going on in the South, where it's Texas and a little bit more Texas, especially after the win today, 47-14 on the road at Baylor. And Mac Brown's got them playing at a very high level on both sides of the ball. And in the Big 12 North, your guess is as good as anybody's. Nebraska, huge win today in Lawrence, Kansas. Kansas State got just hammered by Missouri, and that was a surprise because it was in the Little Apple in Manhattan.
Yeah, that's the biggest surprise right there. Kansas at 1-5 in conference
with
play.
An experienced quarterback.
Yeah.
On the carry, nothing there for Michael, and that's Christian Michael, first-year freshman out of Beaumont. Keenan Clayton over there on the stop. So just a little more than 7 minutes to play in the third. And everybody get out of here healthy and keep the clock moving. That is going to be the key now. But also things to build on for A&M. Gerard Johnson just 10 of 28, 94 yards. Somewhat of a low point for him. And boy, that was a wrap. There should have been a flag, and there will be. McCoy was able to employ the redshirt freshman linebacker out of Garland, Texas. He had a hook, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He had his left arm around him, and going to get the flag here, no doubt about that. He definitely turns him. Referee standing back till they get that all sorted out between them.
They're in no hurry at all.
Pass interference. Number 2 of the defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
I think it's really number 5. He called number 2. Malloy there. The defender probably should have called his number instead of Brian Jackson.
The only touchdown was on a very short field. Don't forget, it was a 6-yard field after the interception by Michael Hodges. So this Oklahoma defense again has basically held A&M to 3 points. Christian Michael. 6:37 and counting left in the third. Brought down by Jonathan Nelson. And remember, with this defensive unit, 7 in the nation in points allowed, only 12 on average. There's the defensive coordinator, Brett Venables. They're 9th in the country in total defense. So when you can get points like Kansas State did here, 30 they got on him as Michael barrels his way across the 45. That's an accomplishment. This is one of the great speed defenses in the country. They're 5th against the run, and they also know how to get to the quarterback.
Well, they definitely can pressure the quarterback this season. Coming into this football game, they had 29 sacks. Getting back there plenty times. Playing the offensive backfield with 77 tackles for loss coming in. That's playing a very aggressive style of defense.
It's 3rd and a little more than 2. Michael coming up so he can hear the call by Gerard Johnson. Johnson has not been able to take off against the speed front of Oklahoma's. He's got Tannehill, though. Tannehill, not only the wide receiver who leads them in catches this year, but he's also their backup quarterback. The sophomore from Big Spring.
A good throw and catch here from the outside to Tannehill by Gerard Johnson. Winds up, throws it out there. Nice, easy throw and catch. Just a spot throw.
Michael setting up as the single on first down. And Christian Michael trying to wheel it and spins free. What a pirouette. Usually doesn't work against a defense like Oklahoma's. It did that time, though. And a flag down.
Holding number 25 of the offense. Penalties 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Remains first down.
Receiver Ryan Swope. It's almost like they can't get out of their own way even when things are starting to pick up.
Great play by the running backs, just spinning around there, and we'll see Swope. He's probably going to be right down here. That's what they're going to call on Keenan Clayton, pulling him there. See the jersey grab? It's a good call, but at this stage of the game, probably a non-call.
They mark it off with 5 minutes to play in the third. It makes it 1st and 17. Only 32 yards of total offense in the second half for A&M compared to right at 200. 197 to be exact for Oklahoma. So since the start of the second quarter, it has been a mismatch.
Going to call timeout. Texas A&M has, I believe, and not going to get the maybe a penalty here, delay a game. I'm not sure which one they're going to give them.
There is no foul on the play. Timeout called by Texas A&M.
It would have been delayed.
This will be a 30-second timeout.
But they got it called in time. Ground game has not been there either for Texas A&M. We talked at the very top of the telecast about Cyrus Gray, along with the combination of Christian Michael. They combine, both of them are right at 67, 68 yards a game. So they give them right away 135 going in on average. That has not been the case, though. In fact, Gray's got only 26 yards on 6 carries. And it's, for Christian Michael, 25 yards on 11. So 51 yards against one of the nation's top defensive units.
Yeah, but you see those two backs that they have, you know, Michael and Cyrus Gray. They're both quick. They're both explosive. That's what I like about them.
They're tough.
And they bounce off. They really do. They don't let that first tackler get them down to the ground. They just continue.
They're almost identical in size.
They really are. They're very similar in their style as well.
5'10", 5'11", 205. Completion goes out to Wachiku. Very quiet so far. A freshman from Allen, Texas.
They get about half of it back there. It was a 1st and 15. Going to get a 7-8 yards and bring up a second down and 5 or 6 here. So
now inside of 4.5 to play. Big 12's leader in total offense. The Aggies of Texas A&M 478 a game. Way behind schedule tonight. Oklahoma does that to a lot of teams. He has to throw it away. So after that snap, 189 yards. That is it. 300 yards more in total offense for Oklahoma. Frank Alexander put the pressure, by the way, on Gerard Johnson. We talked about getting to the quarterback. Sacks. They do that regularly, and Alexander's in there the rest of the way because of the injury, the ankle injury. Austin English done for the season. Gerard Johnson, better protection, and finally he tucks it and goes. So on 3rd down, he gets it to about the 32.
Probably going to be a first down. I think they're waving it forward. So Gerard Johnson getting out of the pocket and running, and his yardage from scrimmage has been positive, mostly when he runs the football, either that or scores.
That's only his 5th carry of the night. That's 5 for right at 22. 22 yards with 4 minutes to play. They move the chains to the 31 of Oklahoma. Michael wrapped up, coming up from behind Keenan Clayton, the strong side backer. Well, they're recovering. Speed on the outside.
You know, I got to appreciate here what Mike Sherman is doing in this football game with his offense, and what it is, he's going back to their core set of plays, what they do. They want to run their offense. They're not looking to make huge plays and put all the pressure on the quarterback, the receivers to make back, and they realize they're not going to win this football game. Too much space now already between Oklahoma and them on the board, and they just want to operate, be efficient, and make the plays they're supposed to make in their core offense.
Yeah, a little carryover for next week.
Yeah, you got to build some confidence, you got to build some structure, and you got to get a chance to do that here. Still got plenty of time to do that.
And next week for Mike Sherman, it's Baylor at Kyle Field.
Intentional grounding against the offense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 3rd down.
It's not intentional grounding. That's called self-preservation. Got a little heat there coming from the Oklahoma defense. Gerard Johnson throwing it out of bounds. And
yeah, McCoy has gotten to the quarterback a few times tonight. Pressure. We saw Beal earlier in the game.
Gerald McCoy, just one of those special talents up front. Good size, good ability, good hands. Just great strength inside. One guy, he just eats up more blockers. You can't block him with just one guy. That's what you want as far as a defensive lineman.
Need to get it to the 22 on 4th down. Straight 4-man rush. And again, it's enough. A straight 4-man rush to force the throwaway. So Oklahoma takes over on downs. But their front four, Beal, Taylor, McCoy, and Alexander, it's enough.
Well, where Gerard Johnson threw that football, Joel, he was 35 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's how far back the Oklahoma defense made him retreat on that play. So turns the ball over on downs, or it's going to be 4th, and we're going to bring out the punt team here.
Oh, yeah, the scoreboard said it was 4th. It was 3rd and 20. So we put up 4th. The scoreboard said 4th. And a punting situation now. So Ryan Epperson in. Dominic Franks lets it go over his head. And they'll corral it inside the 10. So Oklahoma will get it back with 3:03 to play in the 3rd. Back inside the 10. Got our Bass Pro Shop catch of the game, and they made some good catches in tight quarters. How about Tunnell's touchdown?
Well, Adrian Tunnell does a good job here going down here, catching that football and fighting into the end zone, just overpowering the defensive back. Little spin move back shoulder throw, and well done by Landry Jones and Adrian Tunnell.
And the previous touchdown to Broyles, real similar on the opposite side into the end zone where defensive back was right next to him. And it had to be placed very well by Landry Jones. New running back coming out of there with the football. It is Jeremy Calhoun. They've got Calhoun, Jonathan Miller. They're deep at the tailback spot behind DeMarco Murray and Chris Brown. Calhoun, redshirt freshman at 6', even 220. Out of Ben Wheeler, Texas. A fast start for Von Miller. I guess so.
Well, they need to stop that play.
I'm surprised they didn't blow it dead before he got to the quarterback.
Yeah, that's
a free shot.
That's really a poor job, I think, by the referee of not stopping that play.
40 of the defense. Penalty will be 5 yards. Remains 2nd down.
Yeah, his job as a referee is to protect that quarterback. Von Miller got off probably a good 2 counts ahead of the ball being snapped. He was in the backfield. They should have stopped this play before it got started to protect the quarterback. They did not do so.
Move it up. It'll be 2nd and a couple. Jazz Reynolds into the game now. Bottom of your screen. They'll run it to that side. And Calhoun has the first down. You heard, good job, JC, Jeremy Calhoun.
You know, I think that Bob Stoops is going to be happy when he sees his offensive line play. They are physical tonight. They're on blocks. You see the pancake block there on the edge? That's what you like to see from an offensive line. That was Trent Williams, I think, getting a pancake block on the left side, number 71, and he's taking his man to the ground.
Well, that's the most experience they've got left. Williams over at left tackle. The guy that started a right tackle last year. He's been one of the few healthy ones. Landry Jones airs it out, and it's complete to Jazz Reynolds.
Well, I talked about Trent Williams on the block and a pancake block, but I tell you, that blast play right there, pass blocking, shows the ability that he has as a left tackle. And what he needs to do is push his man out and around, and so the quarterback has a chance to stand up and throw. Watch from the left side of the screen, you can see the wash by. That's Trent Williams giving him that space. He throws a nice ball to the outside, so credit your left tackle, number 71, Trent Williams, doing a nice job here on consecutive plays.
Reynolds, 6'2", 180-pounder. He's a first-year freshman, Eisenhower High School in Houston. And a good move after the catch. Coming up with it, Moses Madu. Former running back, the junior from Norman. He moved from running back to slot receiver during the spring drills.
Yeah, Moses,
and he looked like he knew what he was doing after he caught it.
He wants the ball in his hands in the worst way, and he's a guy that used to be in the backfield, as you said, Joel, and was asked to move outside to shore up some of the receiving core, and hasn't had the opportunities that he'd like. He is definitely an explosive player and fun to watch here at Oklahoma.
That's Calhoun nudging it inside the 10 on first down. Well, Landry Jones has had a number of passes that have been short underneath that have gone for big yardage. So it helps when DeMarco Murray's having one of his best days as a receiver, your running back, and that accounts for a lot of 382.
A lot of yak yards.
Yeah, but give him credit because he's put it in a spot where they could make yards after the catch. Inside the 10. It'll be 2nd and 8. It's the fullback ever touched the football. Matt Clapp is the fullback. Calhoun, that's the best lick he's taken since coming into the game.
Hey, Mangan, I hope he's okay. He stepped in there and smacked him, and then he got hit in the back.
That's Kyle Mangan you're talking about, the redshirt freshman from Brenham, Texas. At 6'2", 230, 235.
A good sure tackle in the hole, but then he got popped by one of his guys.
Do we want to see another placement for Oklahoma? Let's see if they can get into the end zone. They're 4 for 4.
Are you evaluating the kickers tonight,
No,
Joel?
I'm not. They're 3 deep here. 3rd and 7. Landry Jones swings it. Man. Kind of a clothesline. Featherston got Calhoun. You don't see those often as he lost it. And we will see a placement coming up.
Watch Featherston there. The right arm just boom. Ball was just not caught by Calhoun anyway. And Featherston just coming out and making sure that he doesn't get going.
Patrick O'Hara is going to get his opportunity now. We've already seen Stevens, Tressway, and Patrick O'Hara from Topeka.
He kicked the last PAT, though.
It'll be a 26-yard attempt. It works. It is a 58-10 lead. Jim Knox.
Okay, Joel, we're about to take off on Sooner Scooter again as soon as Cameron unleashed the break. And here we go, guys. Off on Sooner Scooter. Cameron's a great driver in the back. We got Travis doing some hanging with the flag. The object is to try to touch the head to the ground. I think he's okay right there making the nice safe turn. And down the stretch we come. Oh, baby, OU #1, baby. There we go. A nice clean ride.
Just like the Breeders' Cup last week at Santa Anita.
Did he have a seatbelt on? That's a good fun ride by Jim Knox.
17 seconds left in the 3rd. And Patrick O'Hara receiving congratulations for his first career field goal after the PAT earlier.
Well, you see here the crowd. Now the crowd are all behind him because that's a topic of discussion here in Oklahoma. Who's going to get that kicking duties?
You can afford to laugh when you're up by 48, and everybody's getting an opportunity.
Well, we were talking with Bob Stoops yesterday about his kicking situations. You know, Jimmy Smith's going to kick the shorter ones, and probably have Tressway kick some long ones. We didn't know about this one, but O'Hara's going to get his job too. He's got 3 kickers on scholarship. And
it'll be Lionel Smith bringing it back from inside the 5. Finds a little crease and takes the pop coming across and out to the 30. 8 seconds left, and well, with a win today, Colt McCoy is now tied for the all-time lead, along with David Green of Georgia, with 42 career victories as the quarterback for the Texas Longhorns. Peyton Manning finished at 39. Dorsey, Leach, 38 apiece. So congratulations to just a quality young man. Colt McCoy, one of the leaders as well for the Heisman Trophy.
Has some good company in that crowd. There's no doubt about that.
Aggies have it now at their own 30. They have yet to score in the second half. It's going to be the final snap of the 3rd. And that'll do it. About 4 yards on the carry for Kristen Michael. So the only points of the 3rd, 16 tacked on in the 3rd 15 minutes of play by the Sooners. They're 6-4 tonight. At the end of the evening, through 3, they lead it 58-10. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Start of the fourth and final 15 minutes in Norman, Oklahoma. Welcome back once again as they are rolling quickly. Christian Michael trying to roll away from Frank Alexander, the sophomore from Baton Rouge.
Not happening. Big Frank playing pretty well up there.
That's the way it starts here in the fourth, the way it ended in the third. All Oklahoma tonight, all the time. And Oklahoma's defense, give them credit because they're facing a quality offense. But this offense, first in the Big 12 for A&M. Fourth in the nation total offense.
They've moved the ball a little bit against Oklahoma, but really have not been consistent.
And now it's going to be 3rd and 12, back at the 28. McNeil forces Gerard Johnson out of the pocket. Or I said McNeil, but Gerald McCoy. And what a job of the junior from Oklahoma City, just disrupting things in the middle of the field. Beal on pressure too, but it really was Gerald McCoy. So Brett Venables has to really be pleased with the front four. It all starts there. Everybody feeds off those four. And it's tough to find a better front four. Staying away from that punt. It'll be a timeout as Oklahoma gets it now at their own 42. We'll come right back to Norman with 14:04 remaining. It was decided at the break. Now 14:04 to play with Oklahoma, and they were up by 32 points at halftime. Up by 48 through 3. And Jeremy Calhoun stays in the backfield behind Matt Clapp. Landry Jones still in their quarterback. And Calhoun doesn't quit on the play and gets an extra 2-3 yards. Well, the big game next week is in the Big 12 North, and it's in Lincoln, Nebraska, as Nebraska won earlier today at Kansas. So Nebraska has now only got 2 losses in conference play. They're at home to Kansas State, and pretty well should determine, Gary, the North. So Nebraska in the driver's seat. If Kansas State, though, can slip by them, then all of a sudden they've got the tiebreaker. They're even in the loss column, and they beat Nebraska.
And that big,
Calhoun stays low for a couple more. So that's all to be determined. Texas on top, of course, in the South. And, well, the diehards are still here in Norman, Oklahoma. At locally 9:25. So 2 minutes gone in the fourth. And now 3rd down and 2. Brandon Crow in front of Calhoun. And can they get the 2? Calhoun says yes. Man. If they don't get him at the back of the ankles, the heels, Garrick Williams, he's gone. It's a touchdown.
Well, that's the nature of short yardage defense. You crowd the line of scrimmage, and if you break through that first line, you got a lot of room to run. But a shoestring tackle by Garrick Williams gets him to the ground. Good block here. Watch Clapp on the outside and gets his block. Or Brandon Crow, rather, the fullback.
Yeah, earlier today, Missouri won at Kansas State. That's why Kansas State has 3 losses. Missouri became bowl eligible with that win today. They're now 6-4. Kansas 5-5 with their loss at home to Nebraska. Calhoun hurdles him. Good tough running by the young man. Colorado lost a tough one, but what a big win. Iowa State bowl eligible now in the first year of Paul Rhodes. That's a story.
That is good stuff there. You watch spin, jump in the hole. Good job by Calhoun making something happen. Good vision there. Not allowing that trash around your legs to impede your run.
That's one of the great stories in the Big 12 this year. North, South, both. That's Paul Rhodes at Iowa State. They won 5 games over the previous 2 seasons. It'll be Landry Jones on 2nd and about 4 into the ground in the direction of Jazz Reynolds. But here's Paul Rhodes. They've won 6 games. They're 6-5 with their win over Colorado. Win by 7 today. That is a real success story for a guy that was he's born less than a couple of miles away from Ames, from the ballpark, Jack Trice. He grows up. Ankeny is what, 10 miles away? It's a really nice feel-good story for all of us in the Big 12. Congratulations, Paul Rhodes in Iowa State.
He's a coach that goes to Auburn, but you find Paul Rhodes, who's a guy who's from there, been there, knows the tradition, knows everything about that program, and it's really trying to solidify the Cyclones.
Now they move the chains. It's first down on the run by Calhoun. And we can't say enough about the level of play from start to finish this year of Mack Brown in Texas. Now 9-0, and they go on the road today and made it look easy once again and avoid letdowns.
Yeah, avoiding the letdown is key. And I had a chance to work their game last week and talk with Mack about that and how he motivates his players and how they do things every week to kind of focus on the task at hand, the game. And that's what good coaches do. You take Bob Stoops. He's been through that whole thing before also. You take, a championship type of run. You got to get your guys focused and get them ready every single play. And take a look at the Big 12 South here. And Texas, where they're landing right now, 10-0 on the season.
And Oklahoma State currently down right now to Texas Tech. So Texas in the driver's seat for the South. And we've been around Mack Brown enough in a lot of years now doing Big 12 football. And college football Saturday, as Evans is down after that play. We've been around Mack Brown enough to know that he's inspirational. He will motivate his young men.
He'll find ways to get them going.
He's a great leader. We'll come right back and continue in Norman, Oklahoma. Well, the last thing that Oklahoma needs is another injury on the offensive line, and that's what they're looking at right now with first-year true freshman Tyler Evans, Stratford, Missouri. Missouri. 1st and 10. Inside of 11 to play. It's become an intimate gathering now in Norman, Oklahoma. Calhoun, the featured back here in the 4th. And looking back on the congestion, it took Tyler Evans out of the play.
Yeah, he's going to get rolled up on his left leg. You take a look at Tyler. He's right here, and he's going to have trash coming from the inside out. Let's watch his left leg there as a defender rolls up on his left ankle and leg. And so they've got him up on the table and trying to assess what's going on with him. Hopefully it's minor.
Calhoun bouncing around down to the 10. Clock continues to roll. 5 minutes gone here in the 4th.
Look at Brian Lepak playing center in there right now, or he's in the offensive line, number 51. And Stephen Good maybe back in the ball game, and Tyler Evans out.
And you always look for a silver lining with all these injuries for Bob Stoops' offensive line. And the plus is a lot of guys you didn't plan on playing are getting experience for next year.
No doubt about that. The young guys have got to go. There's some freshmen in this group.
End zone touchdown to Nell.
Second one tonight. When you got a big body receiver like that, and he's got a cornerback that he can pin to the inside and then reverse out, he's got 4 to 5 yards that he can work with to go back to the sideline. And Landry Jones does a nice job of throwing it to his back shoulder here. Watch what I'm talking about. He takes him inside and then he rolls back to the outside, and that's just too easy.
10 plays, 58 yards. And the last 10 yards, a touchdown toss to Tennell. O'Hara, he's yet to miss. And he's 2 for 2 on his point after. You like that little hook, that little draw? It was low as well. It is a 65-10 lead for Oklahoma with 9:46 to play. I know you'll stick around. Big 12 College Football Saturday is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. Brought to you in part by Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of day. The way this game's going, it'll be Breakfast Jacks by K Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. Every kiss begins with K. And by Philips HD, the images that move you the most when we deliver the best. Joel Myers, Gary Reasons, a hearty Jim Knox down to the sideline, wheelbarrow and shovel in hand after being on the schooner. Bradley Stevens back deep along with Lionel Smith. 65-10 Oklahoma. Second quarter over and out. That was it. After it was a close first 15 minutes at 14-10. And the only touchdown given up by Oklahoma came on a turnover where they took it back to the 6. That's where Gerard Johnson and the offense got it. Lionel Smith across the 25 to the 27. You look back to last week, it was a 1-yard touchdown drive for Nebraska, Gary. Don't forget about that in our Hampton Hotels touchdown to the game.
Now this is going to be the first touchdown for the Sooners, and that's Brian Jackson picking up a fumble by Kristen Michael there, and the ball comes loose, and that's a quick score, and Oklahoma gets on top.
You do realize the only 2 touchdowns they've given up the last 2 weeks, Gary, have been on drives of 1 yard and 6 yards. This defensive unit's playing at a pretty good level. Brian Tannehill, talked about him, their receiver, the sophomore from Big Spring. Also, the backup quarterback, Ryan Reynolds, brings down Tannehill. So a tough night for the Aggies, but only 1 game. And they'll fall to 5-5. First down marker brought to you by Overstock.com. At Overstock.com, our award-winning customer service will make you feel at home with the O. So this defense continues to play really well. That's where they've been consistent. Tannehill in trouble and on his way down. It was McCoy who got him first with Beal. Frank Alexander cleaned up.
Well, the job that this defensive front has done all night, keeping that run game in check, pressuring the quarterback, and just can't do that. Gerald McCoy just taking his offensive lineman, Patrick Lewis, the freshman, back there, and Jeremy Beal helping out. So this is a dominating defensive front for Oklahoma.
And when you see this defense, if they have any health at all in their offense, they're a top 10 team. Easily a top 10 team. Shovel pitch, good idea. There goes Stevens across the 40. And when we talked to A&M, we talked about the speed of the defense, and we talked about screens, little delays like that, the shovel pitch, misdirection.
Well, this is the only thing you can do against a fast defense, that you know they got their ears pinned back and they're going to rush the quarterback, and go ahead and let them come up the field and just pitch it right through there as they did. So that's an excellent play call and well executed.
Didn't have many opportunities to do that, though, because they didn't have the ball a lot in the first half. Turnovers, they gave it away. Oklahoma had real short fields. If you joined us late, it's at the 48 of the Sooners.
If you're Mike Sherman, I think you're going to be somewhat pleased in this ball game. You've got some guys that have competed. You know, you take a look at Jeff Fuller, the wide receiver. I think he competed all night long, had some nice catches, did some good work out there on Brian Jackson. And you know, Gerard Johnson, you know, he took his lumps in this ball game, but didn't throw the ball particularly well, missed some open receivers. But I think the running backs, both of them that they've run in this football game, Cyrus Gray and Kristen Michael, both done a pretty good job. They show that they've got flashes of making big plays for them, and that's what you want to have. You want to have a lot of talent around those guys that are able to make plays.
Tannehill, it was hot, but it was high for Jeff Fuller. By the way, Gary, last weekend in San Antonio, Oklahoma State won the Big 12 Women's Soccer Championship. They won it by a score of 1-0 over the Lady Aggies. So congratulations to the Cowgirls soccer team of Oklahoma State, the Big 12 champs. Now from the 48, it'll be third date for A&M. Football team at Oklahoma State, a real battle tonight. Down by 3 as Tannehill runs it out of bounds with the flag down on the play. In fact, they've tied it now with 5.5 left in the third. It is Oklahoma State at home tonight. Texas Tech, they're tied at 10. That's a good game. Maybe after this one, Gary will drive to Stillwater.
Not too far.
I know you're up for it. Flags we don't need. A lot of flags in the first half for the game. 10 on Oklahoma before this one, and 11 on A&M.
Illegal contact in the back by number 28 of the defense. 10 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
Looking ahead, what's left for Oklahoma. Talked about what's left for A&M with Baylor next week, and then at home with Texas Tech, and we'll be there. Looking forward to Lubbock and the great barbecue next week. And then Oklahoma State Bedlam. That'll be fun.
Always fun.
Great
Always
game.
Fun.
Bedlam on the 28th. We've been lucky. See some great college football in the Big 12. Shot.
Well, when you look at two ball games,
putting down the wide receiver Swope.
Joe, you look at two ball games. You take Texas A&M against Oklahoma, or you got Oklahoma and Texas Tech. Which one of those games, looking at it before you start the game, to think it's going to take a 4-hour window to fit a ball game in?
Well, this many points and so many penalties.
Yeah.
Penalties really stopped this game and stopped the flow. Shovel, and it's incomplete. By the way, you see 65 on the board for Oklahoma, and that was the norm last year. Don't forget, in their last 5 regular season games with Bradford at quarterback last season, they scored 60 or more in all 5.
But they averaged over 42 points a ball game last year.
Yeah, it was great. At 99 touchdowns, a school record last year. But this year, no continuity with the offense. From the opener, when Bradford went down to all the injuries, Gresham first, after Bradford, and actually before Bradford, and then the offensive line as it's tipped at the line and falls incomplete before it can get to Jamie McCoy.
You know, this is something that's really kind of been new territory, I think, for Bob Stoops and his football team, is taking a look at your depth and the quality of your depth. When you have some injuries that go on and those things happen, you've got to find the younger players that have come in. Are they ready to play? Can they be ready to play? And in Oklahoma's case, you know, there's been some hits and some misses. So that's something that's kind of a challenge for any team, where you lose players, and the quantity of players at Oklahoma, that's what's really been the story so far this season.
It's 4th and 4. Tannehill in trouble. And what a rifle. Fuller's got it. That was a great throw coming across his body.
And just a great job of staying alive back there. Tannehill just decided to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and make a play on my own here, rolling out of the pocket and throw the football, and throws it to Fuller, who we talked about has had a good game. Big receiver, good target, good job catching the football.
Well, unfortunately, offensive lineman Lee Grimes not getting up after the last play, so we'll take a timeout along with the Aggies. 6:17 left in Norman. We continue in Norman, Oklahoma. Final 6 minutes, 17 seconds as the clock starts to move now off the injury. Man, the fade into the corner and up for grabs as it overshoots everybody. Jonathan Nelson, the closest one there for Oklahoma. Gary, you brought something up right before we broke away, and talking to Gary Reasons, Jim Knox down on the sideline. I'm Joel Myers. You brought up getting the look, and Bob Stoops in a totally different position this year, looking at the depth and other talent on his club because of the injuries. They have won 3 consecutive Big 12 titles, 4 out of the last 5. So then, reality for his constituents. And I think the fans here are realistic, but they've been spoiled. So the expectations are really different.
The expectations are always high here. They expect them to win. They don't realize the magnitude of the fans. I don't think realize the magnitude of the injuries and what impact players that has occurred with. You know, I look at this as kind of like the recruiting classes of, you take a Division I AA football team. They've got 63 scholarships. Well, most of their number ones are really pretty good. But the issue is,
number 7 of the offense. Penalty will be 10
he's getting way too much face time.
Glad you said it.
Remain second down.
But, 63 scholarships, like I said, their number ones are pretty good, but their depth is not really that great. But with an 85 scholarship football team like Oklahoma, you expect to have good quality depth. Well, the magnitude, the quantity of the players that have gone down for Oklahoma this year has really gotten into that depth and that quality. Guys are just not brought along, and the only way you can improve as a football player is through repetition. Practice, or gain experience. And so that's what you're looking for players to improve and really show that they belong on the field.
Tannehill in trouble. Boy, they were untouched coming in off the edge. And he's dropped. First one in there for the Sooners, that was R.J. Washington. And then Jamarcus McFarland cleaned up.
This thing just kind of unraveled there up front.
But nobody touched. At the end, R.J. Washington, a redshirt freshman from Fort Worth. Unblocked completely. So now it's going to be 3rd and 23. Straight 4-man rush. Good night. McFarland head-to-head combat. It was off the edge. Washington again, the speed, and then he pushed him into McFarland.
And you're going to have pressure from the right side from the quarterback. Watch number 97, Washington, come in there, and he's just going to help inside, and a pair of them get that sack.
McFarland is a first-year freshman from Lufkin, Texas.
Well, remember, they had the ball just 2 snaps ago at the 11-yard line. Now they're at the 31-yard line.
Inside of 4.5 to play. Man, it's going to be Randy Bullock trying a field goal.
Texas A&M.
Field goal attempt will be 30, make it 47. And a timeout has been called by A&M.
Timeout. Texas A&M. This is their first of the half. Will be for 30 seconds.
Fox Sunday NFL doubleheader. It all starts tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, with the pregame show and plenty of options in the first half of the doubleheader. Second game, well, how about the Cowboys at the Packers? Something that the Aggies coach has experienced and succeeded at. Mike Sherman, the Cowboys taking on the Packers. His good years with Green Bay and Brett Favre. It was so much fun. I asked Mike after that first matchup where Favre went to in Minnesota, faced the Packers on a Monday night. I said, "Did you see it?" And we talked about Brett Favre, and it was classic in how much he cared and how passionate Brett is and how much he enjoyed working with Brett Favre. And he said, you know, they're going to have to cut the guy's arm off and bury it if they expect him to just stop. He loves the game so much. But it was fun to hear Mike Sherman, who obviously has quite a relationship with Brett Favre. Bullock, the 47-yarder, off the upright. Kind of sums up the night for A&M. Man.
It looked like from here it might go through, so it pulled it onto the left side there. Good leg, plenty of distance. The ball just kind of moving to the left. Kicking into the wind, by the way.
Hits the upright. That kind of night. They happen, don't they? That picture, Mike, tells you the story. Give him a break. So the final 4:11. Man, John Nemo, Jr., Ponca City, Oklahoma, is going to be coming in now, taking over for Landry Jones. Jeremy Calhoun stays in the backfield. Calhoun's made the most of his opportunities. Now he hasn't lost any. Even when it looks like there's no hole, he plugs it for about 3 or 4. So Calhoun with his 13th carry of the night, and he's up to 68, almost 69 yards. DeMarcus Murray, though, if you joined us late, he put it all together.
Oh, he did tonight.
80 yards, 18 carries, but the story was the runs after the catches. 5 receiving. He had 5 receptions for 143 yards with a couple of touchdowns and a career best 67-yard pass.
And that's a career high in total yardage receiving for DeMarco Murray also. Previously it was 116 yards in the ball game against North Texas. So excellent night for DeMarco Murray.
Calhoun running it hard, hitting the hole and taking it for another 3 or 4. Up to the 39. So it'll bring up 3rd and short. Oklahoma 6-4. It's funny to say they're bowl eligible now because as we look, they've won 3 straight Big 12 titles. And they played at such a high level, and especially here at home. This is going to be their 29th consecutive home win. And as good as it's been with the Bud Wilkinson era and the run, the previous best was 25 straight. That ended during the 53 season. They never had a run at home like this. 3rd and a couple. Calhoun again. They may take a longer look at this young man.
Well, he'll get his opportunities. There's no doubt about that. He's got some guys who have earned their stripes to get on the field ahead of him, but Calhoun's showing that he's got a little burst. He's got an ability to make people miss and break tackles.
And the offensive line by the quarter got better tonight, Gary.
Yeah, they really have. They've done better job of moving the ball and continuing on their blocks, and they've been able to run the football pretty well tonight. And if they can continue that next week against Texas Tech, I think it might be boding very well. I've seen Texas Tech play a couple times this year, Joel, and they're a unique football team, and they got 3 quarterbacks out there that can all play. Which one they're going to line up, whether it's going to be Tater Potts, Stephen Sheffield, or Seth Dagey. Mike Leach is always going to be kind of quiet about who he's going to start in the football game.
Really?
Yeah. He's not going to answer anything about like that.
We see him on Friday.
Injuries.
And we see him on Friday when we talk to him early in the week, and then we meet with him on Friday when we get into town, and he's got that poker face on.
Yeah. He's not going to tell you anything.
He's got a good one tonight. Oklahoma State started the fourth, tied at 10 with Texas Tech. Real good game. From the 46, 2nd and 7, trying to run out the clock. One more first down will do it. Calhoun close to that, maybe a half a yard shy. Landry Jones had some big playmakers help him out tonight. After a slow start, he got it going. He finished 24 of 39, 5 touchdown tosses, so he had 6 against Tulsa, a school record, breaking the old record by Josh Heupel.
Man, that was a tip right there. You know, that ball was tipped, but not a great throw by him. But
no, actually it was a hot one, and it was low and away off Kenny. There's Josh Heupel, the quarterback's coach here. We always enjoy talking to Josh when we come in. 30-yard from the 40. And that'll do it. It is all over in Norman. Looking ahead for A&M, though. The Aggies, they're done with the road. They're at home. Next 2 games at home. Baylor on Saturday, and then Thursday, Thanksgiving, the Longhorns. Trying to play this role of the spoiler.
Yeah.
That's a night game at Kyle Field. That's always such a great
that Baylor
match.
game is going to be important for them to get bowl eligible, so that's something that you'll want to watch.
So a real long night for Mike Sherman and his group after losing a heartbreaker last week, 35-34. Buffalo's in Colorado. But a pick-me-up for Bob Stoops as we head downstairs. Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Joel. Coach, I tell you what, complete domination on both sides of football, racked up over 600 total yards on offense.
Yeah, it was good to see. It had good balance. We ran the football really well. DeMarco Murray had some big plays. Landry settled down after a little bit of a shaky start and started making some good throws. So we had some big hits, you know, some big runs, or some big plays passing and running.
Talk about your defense. A&M came in one of the top offensive clubs in the Big 12, putting up a number of big-time yardage on offense, and you guys just about shut them down and held them to less than 230 yards.
Really played great. Our guys played great. Just great, you know, handling the run game. We really didn't allow them to get anything going run-wise, and that put us in some favorable third down situations where we could pressure them, and the guys covered well also.
I know you're going to take a little time to enjoy this one, but always a wild one in Lubbock next week. We have that one right here on Fox Southwest.
Absolutely. You know, that's all our focus will be on, and you know, it's good to play well tonight, but you got to do it again next week.
Congratulations, Coach. Once again, bowl eligible. Joel?
All right, thank you, Jim. And as Bob Stoops said, it was an uneven start for Landry Jones. He didn't throw the ball downfield at all tonight. He threw it underneath, and they made plays after the catch.
Yeah, benefit there, the yak yards, no doubt.
So an interesting one. 14-10 at the end of the first quarter, and then it was all over. It was a blitz by Oklahoma, 28 in the second, and it was all she wrote. Reminder, next week we got a twin bill for you. 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 on the West Coast. The Red Raiders will be there. Sooners taking on the Red Raiders in Lubbock, and then a good one to the Pac-10 Arizona State at the Rose Bowl with UCLA. Coming up next, Big 12 postgame show or final score. For Gary Reason's Jim Knox, I'm Joel Myers. Thanks for joining us. Sooners 65, Aggies 10. You've been watching Big 12 College Football Saturday presented by Academy Sports Outdoors. So long, everybody.